And there we go, not muted anymore. Hello, welcome to Three Skulls Tavern. We're back, as you can see, with Carmen and Jakob for something a little different. We finished our Things from the Flood campaign or scenario 2 weeks ago. And before we jump straight back into Household, I was going to struggle with time to be able to do the last minute prep I needed to do for that. So what we're doing is something that I actually ran at a convention a couple of last weekend, actually, I think it was, over Easter. Year Zero Mini, as you can see there, is a game that I've created. It's been around for 5 years on Drive-Thru RPG, and I'm putting together a second edition of it and have started playtesting that. So Year Zero Mini is a rules like framework. There's no setting attached to it, so you can use it kind of with any setting, although it's kind of designed to be played in grittier settings rather than heroic settings. Yeah, so we're going to be playing Star Wars. I know Carmen is a huge Star Wars fan. Jakob is a Star Wars fan, maybe. I don't know. Are you a?
Yeah, I like a lot of Star Wars stuff, but also there's a lot of Star Wars stuff that doesn't do it for me. But Andor is great.
Yep.
Star Wars fan and Star Wars
Andor's is
critique.
great. You just said the right thing. Andor is great. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. For me, it's exactly. Arguably not Star Wars, but it's the best thing that's ever happened to Star Wars, right?
Better than most Star Wars.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Exactly that.
Yeah. So 90% of our watchers just I don't know.
I grew up, my very first role-playing game was the West End Games Star Wars in the 90s. So this is my first role-playing in Star Wars is how I started the hobby. And when we were playing, my mom is my parents are very conservative Christians. And that was kind of the tail end of the satanic panic in the US at the time. And so when they found out I was playing role-playing games with my friends, my mom confiscated my role-playing book to read through it and gave it back and said, "You're allowed to play as long as you promise not to play with the Force." Which is like, I don't know, she thought I was gonna try and use magic and I was gonna be influenced by the devil or something. I don't know, it's very weird. But I was like, oh, that's fine. Yeah, I wanted to play like Han Solo or someone cool like that, so I didn't really care. And I think we ended up playing we ended up playing a campaign where you're like murder hobo pirates. So it's kind of worse than if I was playing like a goody two shoes Force user. Anyway, so my introduction.
That, right?
What's that?
We honor that. We play without the Force here as well, right?
We're playing without the Force. Yeah, for me, that's always been a part of Star Wars role playing. I never knew how the Force rules worked in the original. When Fantasy Flight Games released their new Star Wars role playing game, I went hard in on that. And Edge of the Empire was so cool because it was like there was a Force sensitive you can play, but really you were playing scoundrels, and that was awesome. So here we are. My preferred way of playing Star Wars is very grounded stories, looking at scoundrels or rebels, those sorts of things, completely ignoring the Force and Jedi and Sith and all that kind of stuff, because I like grittier games. So that's what we're going to be playing. The scenario, we'll jump into that in a minute, but just as a group concept, there are 3 PCs being shown here. And just to zoom in on them a little bit, the artwork for the first 2 Jakob has made. Very cool. The third, because I kind of thought right at the last minute, I'm going to be GMing this, but I ran this as a 4-player. I wrote this scenario for 5 players, ended up running it with 4. It was kind of tough, and I think jumping straight back down to 2 might be really lethal. So I've thrown together a GM PC. If you've ever seen the animated series Rebels, you'll recognize Hera Syndulla from that, but I've recolored her skin to red, so she's not Hera, she's Nira. Twi'lek, the captain of the ship. So the 3 of us here, we'll talk about the characters in a second, are basically rebels, like a rebel cell. This is being set roughly around Rogue One, so after the events of Andor, after the events of Rebels, so kind of around the rebellion is kind of just getting its act together, but they're still kind of chaotic. They're still not like they're still figuring things out. So that's, for me, is kind of a nice kind of period, because the Empire is still very arrogant in them being like in control of the entire galaxy, and these rebel uprisings, they kind of dismiss them as being localized events rather than some sort of like combined effort, and they're still building the Death Star. This first Death Star hasn't been destroyed. So really exciting kind of time to be playing in. There's stormtroopers to shoot, all that kind of stuff. The fascist, the evil fascist space baddies are right in the crosshairs. It's not clone troopers shooting at battle droids or something. A little bit more watered down. Okay, so in this system, our characters are relatively easy to kind of figure out. We have an origin. The origin in this is basically just your background, kind of. So in Star Wars, it's your race plus your kind of background. So you can see we have a criminal, an art student, and a spacer, meaning spacer just meaning you've grown up in space stations and stuff. The career is kind of important. In this game, there are no skills, so your career is your skill set, right? And the way this works is if there's something you could kind of make an argument for that, yeah, my ghost operative, by the way, is like a rebel thief, right? So acrobatic and sneaky and that sort of thing. So if you have a think about there's something that I arguably should be able to do as a ghost operative or as a notorious gunslinger, then you would get 1 extra die for the test, like it's a skill worth one dice. And if it's something that's definitely hands down in your wheelhouse, so for a ghost operative that's sneaking, that's doing acrobatics, things like that, then you get 2 dice to the test. For a gunslinger, that's shooting your guns. Or being
notorious, maybe.
Or being notorious, however that works, right? For the smuggler captain, that's going to be flying a ship, trying to smooth talk customs officials, all those sorts of things, right? The look, we can kind of ignore that for this, but it's basically just a description of what your character looks like. It's meant to be one-liner, so you can kind of see from the images what you look like, so we can kind of ignore that. Conviction and impulse we'll come back to in a second, but basically your conviction is your worldview, so something that you strongly believe in. And I have 5 samples here, which I didn't have time and prep to write down. I'll be writing them over on the side in this blue box as we go through them. So something you believe in. And impulse is basically something, it's kind of like a bad habit or a vice, but basically when things kind of go pear-shaped, what do you do? And one of the favorites it's always picked is, for example, if in doubt, start a fire. Which is just, every role-playing group has at least one player who likes to, start fires. And the way those work there, you can see luck to the side of it. Luck is basically a meta currency, which in the 2nd edition allows you to introduce a narrative detail, or it allows you to get a free success. And this is like Things from the Flood, which we just finished playing, where sometimes there might be more than 1 success required. So for fighting an enemy, the enemy might have a difficulty of 3. That means you need 3 successes just to do any damage to that enemy. And if you roll 2 successes on your dice, it's 1 short. You could spend luck to get that 3rd success, if that makes sense. Okay? Gear is very straightforward. It basically, if you have it, you can use it. The first one listed there for all of us is a weapon of some description. The dice is how many extra dice you get for that piece of gear. Basically, everything's 1 dice unless it's extremely good quality or very effective, very efficient, then it will be 2 dice. So then a gunslinger obviously has 2 dice for his dueling blasters. I have a heavy blaster pistol at 2 dice as well. Might not be using it very much. But Dex, it basically has a silent weapon, which is a harpoon launcher. Yeah, we all have stim packs. We'll talk about those in a second, but you have 3 doses. You can use all at once or 1 at a time. They basically bring your harm back down, and we have a comm link so we can stay in contact with each other. What I haven't written down is that we're also going to be wearing spacesuits, but we'll talk about that when we start the scenario. Then there's 2 more things TBD, it should say, to be decided. Impulse gear. So when we pick an impulse, there'll be an item of gear to go along with it. For example, if you pick, if in doubt, start a fire, you'll get a packet of cigarettes, or death sticks as they're called in Star Wars, and a hand flamer. And other impulses will basically give you a kind of a fun little piece of an item that you can use. And the last one is a freebie item of gear. At any point during the scenario, if you think it would have been really cool if I'd brought this along, then you get one freebie that you can say, okay, I did bring this along, and there you've got it. Okay. Wealth is has a whole thing like going for it, which is not going to be applicable in this scenario, but it's like Vaesen. If you've ever played Vaesen, it's kind of a similar concept. So at the bottom we have 6 stats for everybody: strength, agility, tech, wits, cunning, and empathy. They should be fairly straightforward. Cunning is deception and sneaking and stuff like that. Tech is anything involving mechanics or computers or things like that, repairing things. Wits is typical. So wits and empathy are kind of like standard in across the Year Zero engine games. Right at the bottom, then we have 2 different tracks for health and stress. So we have harm and stress. You start off healthy. There should be a little X, red X right under the word healthy on every character sheet. And basically, if you look at Dex's character sheet, if you take harm, you just move it across. If you take your second harm, we move it across. Third harm, move it across, and down over there. This is exactly like Things from the Flood, except Things from the Flood obviously had conditions. Vaesen is acts very similarly, but basically they're tied to the attributes connected to them. So once you've started taking more harm, once you're on 2 harm or 3 harm, you have 1 or 2 less dice for your physical attributes. So those strength, agility, and tech. And once you start taking a lot of stress, if you take 2 or 3 stress, you have -1 or -2 to those mental characteristics, attributes, above them. That's it in a nutshell. The rest of it we'll figure out as we go. So if we go look at convictions very quickly, let's try and think about what we want to pick for these. So I'll type them in as I'm talking through them. The first one is, and if you like it, basically just drag it over onto your character sheet. Should be the right size. So control is an illusion, is the first one. Oh, and I forgot to mention with luck, if you act on your conviction in a way that adds to the story, you get a luck point. If you act on an impulse in a way that it gets yourself or the party in trouble, you get a luck point. So the impulses are meant to be kind of like flaws that you need to act on to kind of make the story more interesting. So either of those 2 things give you extra luck points. So control is an illusion. The next one is classic. The end justifies the means. The third one is darkness is the source of evil, meaning you're afraid of the dark almost.
That's fun.
Which wouldn't really fit with a ghost operative. Like, would you put that fucking light out? Bravery is never letting others see my fear. And the last one here is all problems can be solved with violence. Yeah, so go ahead and pick one of those and drag them over. I'll just try to drag these down so I can get to the TBC on the other side. I'll go last.
I take control as an illusion, I think.
Damn it.
My conviction, sorry. I wrote like shaking intellectual nihilism, but I think control as an illusion is that what fits it best.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be kind of a bit of a coward, and I feel like the end justifies the means. She doesn't have to be cruel.
Well, bravery is never letting others see my fear. Is if they can't see my fear, if they can see me, they can't see my fear. So.
Yeah, well. Yeah, no, I'm not the violent type, not necessarily. She's getting a bit. Yeah, that's that.
All right. So if you look at the impulses, then we have never walk away from a fight, never ask for help, if in doubt, start a fire, always take matters into my own hands, and never stick to plans. I'm going to take my smuggler captain to be all problems can be solved with violence. Yeah, so remember you have to act on these to complicate the story to get extra luck points. So, and we shouldn't be spamming these. It should be maybe once or twice in this scenario, not more than that.
would go for the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, then on your TBC impulse gear, go ahead and write
Yes.
hand flamer.
Sure.
Just like replace the text there.
Yes.
I'm gonna think never stick to plans.
Yep. Then the gear you have for that is the problem solver, which is an override spike. It's basically like a data spike is like a USB stick. You can plug it into into like computers and basically cause a virus to throw electronic systems into chaos.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with just because it's got some good utility here with the item. Never ask for help. And my impulse gear is the Admiral.
Ooh.
The Admiral being basically like a monkey. A real
monkey, like a
Vrixa monkey. Well, it's a real animal. It's got a prehensile tail, and it has 6 limbs, and it can survive.
And an annoying laughter, maybe.
Wait, like the one like Java's. It's called a something monkey lizard. Yeah, it's kind of different. And it can survive for 1 hour in vacuum.
Wow.
How do you spell vacuum?
Ooh.
W, I think, like that. Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty. So we're ready to start.
Hey,
any questions first?
Nope. So successes are rolling a 6, right? We got a dice pool,
so I'll mention.
And then we roll a 6.
So it's like things from the flood. The standard difficulty is going to be 1 success required, but if there are things that require more successes, I'll let you know how many are needed, and including with like enemies, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, and it's wit, cunning, and empathy, right?
Wits, cunning, and empathy.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so
cunning being deception and stealth and thievery, basically.
Okay, and wits is just basic intelligence, and okay.
Wits is like perception, intelligence. But yeah, kind of like your intelligence or logic, reasoning, that sort of thing.
Okay, cool. Me, an intellectual.
Alrighty. One thing, let me just, before I forget, I'm going to grab one of these X's. I'm going to put it up here so we've got them ready to go. Like that. Off to the side. Okay, all right. So, I'm going to switch on dark mode because I like dark mode a bit better for my eyes. There we go. Okay. As we said before, you're a rebel, or we're a rebel cell, and we operate in the Outer Rim somewhere. We're kind of, we have a front as a smuggling crew, so we have a ship of our own. Doesn't matter what the ship is for this scenario, but it's kind of like probably some sort of like one of the smaller YT freighters, if any of you know what that means watching. The Millennium Falcon is a YT freighter. There's lots of different models, different sizes. So it's going to be something kind of similarly sized to that. It has a cargo bay, not a very big one. It's got enough space for a small crew, so the 3 of us. And basically, we do trade missions, where we front as a trading vessel, but we're actually working for the rebellion for various reasons. Not important because this is a one-shot. Why? But we're kind of a unit. We're a family. We're like a rebel cell that works well together. If you've seen the TV show Rebels, then we're basically like the crew of the Spectre. And what happens is we get contacted by the rebellion one day, and they let us know that they have picked up it's been reported to them that a very strange signal has been found in a system very close to us. In fact, we're the closest rebel cell to this system, which is why we're being contacted. The signal is a short-range signal, not a long-range signal, and it's garbled. They're not sure whether it's been corrupted, the signal, or if it's maybe encrypted, because the signal is on an imperial frequency. So it sounds suspicious. We've been asked to check it out, and if we can deal with it, then to deal with it as well. Typical kind of rebel thing. We can call in for reinforcements if we think it's needed, but there's no one that close nearby. So the main thing is, see what's going on, deal with it if you can. If it's too big, then call in the reinforcements, which will take probably Star Wars. It's funny, in the movies, hyperspace jumps are like minutes long, and in the role-playing games it's like days long. So maybe we say like we're a short hop away, maybe like an hour's hop away, and the next closest rebel crew that could come to us are maybe like a day away or something like that. Okay, because the galaxy's big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all we're told. There's not a lot of more information to go on. They maybe they can share the signal with us. The only thing we can tell is that it's repeating the same garbled message. And then we basically jump to hyperspace to go to where the signal's coming from. In the hour that we're waiting to arrive, do any of you want to do anything? Or, in fact, let's introduce our characters on the ship while we're in hyperspace.
Go for it, Jakob.
All right. I'm playing Gavo Squeed. I'm a human, and for the crew of a cargo freighter, which is our front being a smuggler crew. He sort of looks quite sophisticated. You see that his style would be rather exquisite, and he took his time to select some clothes that look worn down enough to fit in the crew of a regular cargo freighter. But yeah, there's always some accessory that he wears that's rather exquisite. Like in this case, now he's wearing a Gorman silk scarf. And after the events of Endor season 2, I don't want to spoil anyone. Has quite a significance, maybe, or maybe really increased in its value. But his hair is always purposefully messy and a rather laid back, maybe slightly arrogant attitude. Sometimes just playing devil's advocate to argue for the discussion's sake, or lecturing his crewmates about the late Imperial brutalism is just a shallow replica of the Mustafarian monumental architecture, or just debating the concept of freedom just for the fun's sake. Yeah, and currently now I think he sits in the mess or in the galley. I don't know. Mm-hmm. His boots on the table and smoking a cigarette. The arms crossed behind his head and just looking up the ceiling fan. And waiting for the things to come. Sunken in his deep, very intellectual thoughts, probably.
Or at least trying to look like he's thinking intellectual thoughts.
Yeah. In his mind, he probably is.
Okay. All right. Cool. Dex?
So yeah, I'm playing Dex. This is this little bat person, just a meter tall, very tiny, little guy, girl. You don't know because it's indistinguishable. She's kind of wearing just an overall, sometimes a little jacket over it, and a little scarf that she can also pull up over her nose. She has notorious sticky fingers. Which is something that kind of brought her into this mess. And she believes, like, if I ever have enough money, I could be one of those good guys everybody looks up to. But so far, hey, no. She's just a wild card. She's running around. She's a bit skittish around new people. Not very fond of the Imperium because we all know the Imperials are kind of racist and treat her like vermin. So that is a natural enemy for her. So harming the Imperium is always something she loves to do. And Yeah, most of the time she is hanging around the crew, being a deckhand to everyone, just doing what needs to be done on the ship. And whenever strangers appear, she's kind of disappearing into one of the cargo compartments because she's tiny and can't be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, Chadrafan are kind of it's not obvious from the picture, but they are like hobbit sized basically. They're small.
Yeah, they're really tiny. She also has bare feet, like she's not wearing shoes, and you can sometimes see her crawling around on the ceiling because she can actually use her feet to grab onto things.
Maybe we've installed a special like some sort of like grid or something in the ceiling to make it, because
Oh
you
yeah,
like to do it so much. Um, that's easy enough to do. Yeah, cool.
yeah.
All right.
Sure.
And I mean, you've got a hand flamer. I've totally forgot. You've got a packet of death sticks as well. Are you actually? Do you smoke as well? You
On
don't have to have the
occasion,
death
when she
sticks.
gets extra nervous,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. And I'm playing Nira, who is a Twi'lek, the captain of the ship. She's kind of like maybe like the mother of the crew, we could say. So she's a bit older. She's been kind of captaining for a while, um, and she's kind of been hardened by all the stuff that's happened with basically the galactic war that happened between the separatists and the Republic, and now with the Empire rising, she's just bitter and thinking about the conviction that all problems can be solved with violence. She's very much like, her first response to things is shoot first, especially if it's the Empire. Never ask for help. Again, she feels like she can do everything. She doesn't need help for whatever reason in her past. She sports a heavy blaster pistol, which is what Han Solo has. And she has this Vrixa monkey. Don't look that up. I made it up. It's not an actual thing. I basically didn't want a monkey lizard like Jabba had. I wanted something that was a little bit more more useful and less like a Jim Henson puppet.
Also, I hate this naughty monkey from
Yeah.
Jabba. It's
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
the
everybody
number one
does.
Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine's a bit more like a normal monkey. It probably doesn't. We could say because it can survive in vacuum. Maybe it's completely mute. It doesn't actually talk at all. But it's very clever. So we have this
That's
like sort
good.
of sign language. It can understand speech, so I can give it orders, like verbal orders, and it like signs back what basic stuff back to me. So kind of basic, or like an intelligent animal intelligence level, like a rat or a pig or something like that, right? But able to like sign stuff. So maybe a little tiny bit more intelligent. I don't know. Okay. And I'm basically in the maybe I'm not in the cockpit. I am deep in the bowels fixing something, because typical Star Wars, when you have these freighters, there's always something breaking down. And I don't have a Chewbacca there to hand me the Hydra spanner. I have my monkey. So we had the similar situation where there's like a toolbox open above the panel I've pulled up off the floor, and I'm like, Admiral, hand me the Hydra spanner. And it's like, it hands me the wrong thing. No, not that one, the Hydra spanner, the long one. And then there's this long conversation where I'm trying to explain what a Hydra spanner is to the Admiral, who just doesn't get it. He's just handing me different things. I know eventually he's going to hand me the right thing, but I'm still trying to train him to know what the tools are. It's not working. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And I would kind of say we're all kind of in a similar area of the ship. Maybe I'm in a panel not far from the kind of the galley, the rest area, which is kind of in the middle of the ship. It's got that hollow table where we can play hollow chess. And maybe Dex is kind of like crawling around above that, because that's like a nice big area. We've got the ceiling mesh there, and also in the cargo bay, which is also nice and big. And I'm nearby there under like in the flooring, fixing something. And we drop out of hyperspace at the right amount of time. Maybe we have like a couple of minutes warning before it happens, so we can all kind of crowd into the cockpit to see what we see. And as we drop out of hyperspace, we can see in front of us a planet. The planet is yellowish with some spots of brown. We can see from orbit here, or from space. And the first thing we notice immediately is that there's a lot of debris in the immediate vicinity. If you remember when the Millennium Falcon drops out of hyperspace in the remnants of the planet of Alderaan when it was destroyed, it's kind of like that, maybe on a lesser scale. But there's like proximity sensors going off, warning that there's debris, and there's like little bits of things like bouncing off the hull of the ship as we're kind of like coming out of hyperspace. Before we have a chance to do any scanning or anything, the other thing that we notice immediately is that ahead of us is a large ship, specifically a frigate. And we can't tell from this distance anything about it. We'll have to scan it. But it is in orbit. It looks like it's in orbit around the planet. And it's looks like it's kind of near or in this debris field that we've just flown into.
Marvelous. Looks like we got something different than the usual cargo hauling, right?
Probably. Could also be a trap. I mean, this much of debris makes it hard to escape if we want to turn back.
It should make us also hard to be seen in it. And I look to Nira, like asking for confirmation that we have a little bit of cover inside this debris field.
Yeah, it will definitely scramble sensors for a bit. But if anybody does a deep scan, they'll still be able to spot us. I think
Can
we
we
should
locate where the signal's coming from?
Yeah, let's do a scan. Let's do a scan first before anybody else has a chance to. Why don't I don't want to roll because I'm trying to play a GM PC and kind of a passive character. Why don't we have Dex, who's got the next highest tech? Why don't you make the roll for it? And you can get an extra dice for help. We could say that I'm kind of helping you. And I think a ghost operative probably is used to like using some technology to a certain extent to you're kind of hacking into computers every now and again, doing that sort of stuff. So it's not in your wheelhouse, but we'll give you an extra dice for that as well. So 2 extra dice.
All right. So it's 5 dice.
And you just need a single
With 3 to
success.
attack? Okay. All right.
We didn't talk about
This gets
pushing
us.
either. We'll talk about that if we need to. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We're starting with 3 successes.
Wow.
All right.
Boy,
So
strong
that's
cargo.
another thing I totally forgot to do here is we need a little thing for tracking momentum. Momentum is whoops, I forgot which button to press here. A momentum is basically when you have extra successes, you can provide those extra successes as momentum. They have to be used fairly soon after they are after they're granted, because basically they get reduced at the rate of you lose 1 every scene after they are gained, or in combat every round that they're not used they go away. So we'll just
it's a group pool. Everyone can
it's
take
a group pool
to boost their rolls.
Yep. But again, it's meant to be like as the name suggests, it's momentum. It kind of you use it or you lose it. Let me just do this. We'll put a little coin here for it, and we'll make it whatever color there's. It's hard to tell with the make it red there. So we're going to have 2 points of momentum. Yeah. Good. So you do the scan, and I guess it's just really obvious that we're getting a lot of information back straight away. First of all, the frigate is registered as an Imperial medical frigate. The scan reveals that the signal is coming from the frigate. It also reveals that the frigate has taken quite a bit of damage, and that there is only very limited power aboard the frigate. It looks like potentially only life support, maybe not even to all the decks. Certainly the main reactors are offline. Doesn't look like it's able to fly away. And another thing that is revealed is that it's in a decaying orbit around the planet. And for
So
those
it's
watching don't know what that means that the orbit is ever decreasing, which means at some point it's going to enter atmosphere and either burn up or crash into the planet. So that's what a decaying orbit means. The other thing that we can tell is with the scanning is that the debris is from. In fact, I'm going to remove one of the momentum because they're getting a lot of free information here. So we'll say with 2 successes you get like basically everything, right?
All right.
And I think, what we can tell is that the debris is from a battle that happened. And we can tell that there is, from the scanning, that there are bits of like X-Wings, some TIE fighters, and just a lot of debris probably from the frigate as well. There doesn't seem to be any large rebel ships, like capital ships, that seem like destroyed, or certainly no like Star Destroyers or anything like this. So it's kind of, we're not really sure what to make of that. But there's definitely a space battle that happened here, and it's resulted in
But they
the only
didn't.
remaining ship being this frigate, which is also partially damaged.
one question for lore reasons. In Star Wars, usually X-wings and TIE fighters can't do hyperspace jumps on their own. They
X-wings,
have to.
X-wings can, but
Oh, okay.
TIE fighters
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. But they didn't warn us that there has been a scuffle between our forces and the Imperium, so it's not really clear if this is some of ours or stuff like
Right.
that.
And again, this is at the early stages of the rebellion, so there's kind of like pocket cells that don't always communicate very well. It's not super organized yet. So it's not that unusual that it's not that unusual that there's like, there was some rebels here that have clearly been destroyed. It's kind of like, oh man, if we had our act together, we could have known about this. Rather than, oh, this is a real big mystery. It's kind of like par for the course, like, damn it, we should be better organized, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Nira says, well, it looks like with a frigate, there's definitely going to be a hangar bay. We might be able to fit fit our ship on board. Should we dock? What do you think? Have a look.
Well, that's where the signal. If it's where the signal comes from, we should likely investigate, shouldn't we? I mean,
it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Should we
do
try
it.
and-
Let's take care. And
Okay.
then like we need to be careful of the time because this ship is going to be dragged down and not to pull us with them.
Indeed. And in fact,
So-
if we look a bit higher up above our characters, you'll see that there's a card that says danger on it. I actually have to unlock these because the what's I have to fill in. And the danger is ship enters atmosphere. So there's a danger that the ship, the frigate, is going to enter atmosphere. It's going to start burning up. And if we're starting it's level 6, and we're going to be making dice rolls at different points during this adventure. And at some point, in fact, let me just freeze this first. Let me lock this down, and then right click, lock. Okay. At some point, rolling dice, it's gonna get to 1, and then when it gets after 1, this is the amount of dice. The numbers are the amount of dice that we're rolling, and basically every time you roll a 6, it goes down a step. Okay.
okay.
It'll be basically, we'll explain when that happens, but that's the danger. There's a time limit here. At some point, that ship's gonna enter atmosphere. We need to make sure we're not on board when that happens. Okay. Or if we can fix the ship somehow, that's another option. We can get it, if we can get it out of its orbit, then that danger goes away as well. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're all in agreement. And I pilot the ship closer to the frigate, and we can tell that indeed there is at the front of the ship, there is a hangar bay.
Can we use the momentum that we still have to use the debris as cover so we don't get noticed by the possible remnants of the crew?
Oh, I'm gonna just move it off to the side here so we know it's been used. Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah,
I would
that
suggest that
sounds
in
good.
common if you're fine with that.
Yeah. So we're kind of going
Totally,
in. We're trying to go in
totally.
stealthy. What we can do is
Hmm.
we can kind of switch off a lot of the power systems on the ship. We can give ourselves a little burst of speed and let physics take over, shut the engines down, and just kind of drift in. We'll put the engines back on when we get closer to try and land on board. So we're trying to go in as quiet as we can. Yeah. And as we approach, nothing happens. The ship we can see as we get closer definitely has Imperial insignia like painted on the hull as we get closer. Maybe there's some reflection from the system sun or something that we can see that. We also see that it has a big sort of medical cross, I guess they would do in the Star Wars universe, indicating that it's like a medical vessel. And we can see definitely that it has sustained quite a lot of damage. In fact, the damage is appears to be, let's say we're kind of approaching it maybe from underneath and behind it a little bit, so we can kind of see more of it as we're kind of traveling to the front. That one side of it has really been badly shot up, kind of partially destroyed. So that you can actually peer into some of the rooms of the ship. Are they called rooms? Whatever they're called, where the actual bulkhead has been, blasted out. So part of the ship on one entire side is effectively open to the vacuum of space. We're not kind of shining lights on this because we're coming in stealthy, so we can just kind of see that that's the case, but we can't really see inside anywhere. We're not scanning anymore because we're coming in dark. If you start scanning, you're gonna also kind of reveal your position. But nothing happens. We can also see, kind of unusually, but we're not sure because I don't think any of us has probably seen a medical frigate before. But this one is sporting a number of turbo laser emplacements on it. Turbo laser is just the name for the late ship guns on ships. It doesn't mean like super big or anything, but they are basically like they are ship to ship combat weapons. Maybe to combat rebels, maybe to combat pirates, something like that. But there are we kind of get the impression that there's maybe more than would strictly be necessary for a medical frigate. So that's kind of there's a bit of a question mark there. Okay.
Well armed for a medical frigate, I guess. I mean, could explain why there's no rest of the fleet around. Maybe it went solo.
Probably. Also, something must be on board if some of us deemed it a worthy target.
And if it went alone,
And
it sparked the question why, and if it was a secret mission. Probably it had
yeah,
something very important on it. Or dangerous.
exactly.
Probably both.
Hmm.
Quite possibly.
We're about to find out, I think.
Well,
Uh,
could it be that there is some, I don't know, quarantine over the ship? Maybe that's a signal. Could that be?
Maybe. What we could say is that we had that clip, the repeating signal. We had the clip of it, the bit that's repeating, and maybe we're running it through various algorithms on the ship computer, trying to see if we could crack it on the 1 hour trip over. And the ship is still running through that in its kind of like secondary systems, trying to crack this tried to unravel or ungarble the message, with no luck. So it's still can't quite get through it. Okay. We're kind of approaching the dock, the hangar bay, and we're approaching from the good side, not the damaged side, because Nira, you can kind of choose which side to land in, and Nira's like, I don't want to, I don't want to land my ship on potentially something dangerous, something that is going to scratch it up or knock something off. So, she switches the power onto the ship right at the last minute and just kind of maneuvers it quickly into the bay. And if we now jump down below our character sheets, you can see this little diagram. This is actually a ship diagram. You can't see it too well because of the kind of starfield graphic behind it, but number 2 there is the bay, and we are coming in landing. Basically, I don't have a token for a ship. I can create one very quickly as a circle. We'll make it that color, and I'll make a little oval, a little green snot oval. And that will be, 1 second, send it backwards, and again, until our people jump out. Wow, that's kind of weird. Let's get these guys and bring them to the front. That'll work. There we go. Okay. And basically what we have here is we have a ship crawl.
Nice.
So there are these different rooms on board the ship. There are 3 levels to the ship. So these red boxes to the side are the other three levels of the ship. We're on the bottom level of the ship, which is where this hangar bay is. And basically, yeah. What we probably will know is that it looked like the bridge of the ship is on the top level, and usually the communications equipment, which is where the signal will be sent from, are usually near the kind of near that area. They're near like the top and the front of the ship. So if we want to figure out what's sending the signal, or maybe there's a console that has the signal ungarbled, that's going to be on the bridge most likely. So to get there, we're gonna have to make our way up. But also, we have no idea what's happened on board the ship. Maybe we can have a little look around as well.
But now we're closer to the aft of the ship, like the backside, right? Or is
we're at the front. One is the front. Okay. 11 is the back. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to put in here for this tracker objective. The objective is what is going on. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. So that's just basically, let's lock that down. Oh, man, it doesn't, all right. We're going to put another one of these. Whoops. We've got a little X there. Okay, and then what I'm also going to do is we have these encounter ones. You don't know what that means. Ah! Don't look.
No.
Crap. Hold on. This is S, and this one is P. Okay, so we have these 3 encounters as well. These encounter trackers. And they're all going to be at 1 as well. And the way this works is basically, as I said, as we're kind of exploring the ship, as we're moving around the ship, at certain points, we're going to make rolls on these. So I think what we'll say here is, let's give each of us one of the encounter tables. So we'll have, we'll put here encounter, and we'll go C for Carmen. We'll go J for Jakob, and we'll go M for Matt. So alphabetical order there. And then for the objective and the danger, so I'll let one of each of you take one of them. So which ones do you want? Objective or danger?
Do you want to take the objective, because you were also well?
I take the objective.
All right.
Well, I'm the danger.
I'm pretty sure that this is like the best roll of the entire game, like right at the beginning when it's not that important.
The 3 successes. Yeah, you use up all the juju from your dice, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so the danger. So basically, I'm going to ask it at intervals for each of you to make these rolls, and basically all you're doing is you're rolling the number of dice indicated by the number at the state we're at, and if you get any successes, it jumps down 1. So it's pretty straightforward. And obviously the danger starts high and goes lower. So the danger is a little bit different. It means that the dangerous thing is going to be approaching quickly, and then it's just like keeps the tension high. It's then should be less likely to happen as it's imminent. Whereas the other ones, it starts off less imminent or less likely, but then as you start moving down, it becomes more and more likely until it suddenly happens, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I just forgot about these things here. Hold on. So I just need to lock this down, otherwise they're gonna play havoc later. Use these things for quite a lot. We're going to lock them, and we're going to move these back down. All right. Okay. So we get out of our ship, and we are indeed in this hangar bay. And the hangar bay, so the red bit on the map is basically the damaged part of the ship. So we could see that across from us, the hangar is like open to the vacuum of space. Normally, you've got these kind of like shields that go up to keep everything secure. But we also notice that there is just stuff floating around inside the hangar bay. So it appears that there's no gravity currently on the ship, which makes sense because there's no power. So that's going to make things maybe a little bit awkward. It means that there's also no breathable oxygen. So what we're going to need to do is put some spacesuits on. We've got some spacesuits. That's fine. It will hinder Dex's ability to, clamber around barefoot. At least until we can get the power back on. If we want to get the power back on. But that's what we see, and we can see that there's some corridors off to our off to the front of the ship, and we can see a corridor going off to the rear of the ship. And in fact, the one going towards the rear of the ship that's heading towards 3 is actually quite a wide corridor. You could almost fit. You could definitely fit like a speeder, like a land speeder, an air speeder along it. It's quite a wide corridor. Whereas the ones in 1 they're still quite big. You could probably fit like a forklift type of thing in through there, but not much bigger. And what you'll know from having been on a few capital ships in the past, usually there's usually cargo storage and those sorts of things in the immediate vicinity of a landing bay like this. The other thing that's noticeable that we can straight away see is that there are ceiling racks dotted all along this hangar bay, and we've seen these before, having been trained as rebels. These are racks that hold TIE fighters.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe about 6, enough for 6 TIE fighters in here, which is unusual for a medical frigate. You'd expect more to have shuttles or something like that on board. Doesn't appear to be any kind of there definitely is no shuttle. There's nothing parked in here. It's completely empty, other than just some random stuff kind of floating around. There are definitely no other ships in the landing bay.
Well, this is definitely not for search and rescue.
Yeah. Not a Lazaret ship, probably. But I'm pretty sure we have to go back to the rear of the ship, but maybe we can take a snoop in the cargo bay. If it wasn't everything, if there was cargo that's been properly secured and it's not been sucked out into the vacuum of space, you could take a little look what they were.
Should we look for an access panel to get an overview of the ship?
That would be the ideal plan, but I don't think we got the power, right?
Yeah, you won't.
Everything's dead, right? Yeah.
You can power some, you could power a small panel with if you had an energy source, but you won't be able to provide power to the entire ship, if that makes sense. Think of it like you can turn a computer on, but you can't connect to the network, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you find a station, a terminal that is connected to a reactor, then you could use that theoretically with the limited amount of the life support that's on. Maybe you could redirect that slightly to power up that one terminal and maybe get a reactor going, something like that. Okay.
I mean, when we get along this way, I kind of feel like we should see if we get some logs, like maybe from the med bay or something like that. Maybe it gives us some information.
Oh, probably. Can we run a scan by our ship to see if there's anyone alive at the ship and where they concentrate, so we can?
Yeah, that's gonna definitely need a roll. I'll do that one, shall I? The tech.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No successes. and I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to push it because I like there to be a little bit of a question mark there.
Sure.
So, in fact, let's say we can tell that there are some very we're getting some life form readings, but they're faint and we can't really pinpoint where they are.
Okay.
So there seems to be a lot of interference, maybe with how the ship's been built. Maybe maybe it's clad in something that's designed to deflect scans, but because we're A, on board, and also B, part of the ship's been destroyed, we're getting a little bit of something. So we're getting some life form readings, but we can't. It's very, 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 very weak.
Well, this whole thing's getting stranger and stranger already, right? And I pull out my 2 dueling pistols and shall we?
Yep.
Yep. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. So we're all suited up. We got our spacesuits on. Let's say that we have helmets with like little lights on them, like little torches, like 2, like we can kind of see where we're going. And yeah, where do you want to go first?
I think the cargo bay, just to check out if there is any cargo that is unusual, if we can check it immediately.
Which one do you think is the
not-
cargo bay?
Oh, the number 1, probably.
Okay.
Just assuming.
Yeah, so... Oh, seriously?
Sorry, we can also go to 3.
No, it's... I did this at a convention, and I basically prepped this the night before, and I basically drew all these maps by hand on a piece of paper, and I numbered them differently, and I have a key for all the rooms, and the key no longer matches, but I remember it all,
No.
so it's fine.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
head up to the first room up here, and we basically discover that it is indeed a cargo bay. And there are still basically, we can say, 2 groups, if you will, of crates that are still like lashed down. So we could say they're like kind of stacked on top of each other, maybe 8 each. So 2 by 2, like 4 stacked on top, like 2 stacks of 4. And they're crates that are kind of maybe like dishwasher sized or like washing machine size, that sort of size. And again, 2 groups of them. So like altogether 16 crates into piles. Otherwise, you can see that they're like other stuff has been kind of like sucked out into space, or has been kind of partially destroyed by the explosion.
Yeah.
All right.
There's no
Okay,
bodies.
so those are probably...
There's no weapons that we can see floating around. Just these 2 piles of crates.
Okay. So more 2 piles instead of large stacks that build corridors?
Yeah, so not... I mean, again, think if they're like washing machines stacked too high. And we're in 0G. We're floating, so we can see over the tops of them and stuff really easily.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, they're not big. They're kind of in the corners. We can say, in fact, right to our left as we're coming in. That's where both of them are kind of like lashed to the bulkheads.
Okay. Yeah. So we're probably just crawling along any side railings or pillars.
There's plenty of handholds and stuff to move. We don't need to make tests or anything for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I'm probably gonna float over there and take a look at it.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there any
I'll
markings?
accompany you.
Yeah.
There is an imperial like insignia on the crates, but there's no other markings. You can't see like a manifest anywhere, like paper or otherwise. They're completely unmarked. You lift one of the crates, and and it's the first one has fuel cells inside, like for ships. In fact, they're kind of small. You realize that they're perfectly sized for TIE fighters or like starfighter sort of size. Nira comes over and kind of peers over your shoulder and says, "Ooh, those will fetch a pretty penny on the black market.
Oh,
I
then
think
we
we
should
should take it.
definitely.
If we've got,
Oh,
do we,
maybe
do we
we
have
can.
time?
Hmm?
Do we have time?
Let's take one container, and maybe let's another one, tie it to a rope, and take it with us like a balloon. As long as we're on 0G,
We could just throw
could come
them,
in handy.
and they would just float to the next person. It's not going to be difficult. It's just going to take time to load
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
cargo
I
bay
thi-
could
I think
definitely
I-
fit all of them on board if we wanted to, but it would take
Yeah.
to load that many would take quite a bit of time because we have to like unlash them and then
only one, and I would
Okay.
supposedly open one more container and take one energy cell with us, like taking hanging it to a cable and just taking it with us like a balloon. As long as we're in 0G, that would be no really
It's a
hindrance,
fuel.
and we can use it to power.
No, it's a fuel cell, not an energy cell. So it's
Okay, never
it's
mind.
more like
Yeah.
it's more like
Yeah,
gasoline,
kind
like space gasoline,
Okay.
rather than
Yeah.
like a battery. Yeah,
But it
Never
would be
mind.
flammable,
It would be
right?
flammable.
it would be flammable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If there is, we need some
Like
oxygen, right?
how large are these? Mm,
They're
true.
kind of like
True.
we could say something like one of the canisters is like a 5-liter mini keg, if you know how big those are.
Yeah, sure.
But more narrow and taller slightly. So maybe more like 4 liters, something like that.
Mhm.
But in cylinders, like that. Okay, so because we're taking time to load some of these on board, we're gonna go up to the trackers, and in fact, we're gonna roll on
Yes.
every single one of the trackers because basically, other than the objective stays where it is, but the danger one, anytime that we're kind of like dragging our heels or we're taking time to do something, we're gonna have to roll for the danger because we're taking time to like load up some stuff, looking inside the crates, that the ship is in a decaying orbit. We're kind of on a schedule here. So go ahead and do that first, Jakob. Roll 6 dice.
Yeah, 2 6s.
Okay. So I did,
No.
according to the alien rules where I've kind of stolen these from, every 6 drops it down at least 1, but we found that was a little bit too harsh. So we've kind of house ruled it. I think it worked quite well anyway. If you get any 6s, it just drops 1 down. So if you want to, you're in charge of the danger one. If you can drop that down to distant. And then all 3 of us need to roll 1 die for the encountered ones. And we're looking for 6s.
All right.
A 5.
I got a 3.
Nope.
Okay, all right.
None of it.
Oh, objective. I guess we can go on and Carmen roll for objective as well because we're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. So I guess looking in crates is
All right.
kind of leaning into that a bit.
Okay. So
Just 1 die.
Nope. There is
Okay.
no success.
Okay, that's fine. Alrighty. So we're done. We've loaded up. How many crates do we say? Just the one?
One crate just for
One.
quick loading. And I would also take one of those fuel cells with me as
Sure.
long as we have 0 gravity, just to probably do some shenanigans in case we need them to bust open some bulkheads or something like that.
Yeah. Little TNT, little stick of dynamite. Okay, then I guess we've kind of got this crate on board the ship, and we could say that we've positioned the ship so it's pointing away, like out of the hangar bay. So if we need to make a quick getaway, it's just boom, straight out. Like we've reversed it in. Okay, we're gonna go through into the next room then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we make our way down. We're kind of floating through. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Can I discern where normally like the generator or the generators of such a ship would be?
Go ahead and give me just a. Well, actually, no, we don't. User Mini doesn't do knowledge rolls. The way it works is you do make a roll, but you make a knowledge roll based on how obscure the information is and whether there's anything in your background or your concept that can that means you might know that. So in this case, I would say roll 4 dice.
Okay.
You just need 1 success.
That one's no.
Okay.
I don't know shit.
I'll roll as well, but I'll maybe give myself an additional 2 dice because as a smuggler captain, maybe have a little bit more
Absolutely.
knowledge of ship layouts and stuff. I didn't get any 6s either, so I've maybe not come across any frigates. And I don't know if Carmen, if you want to roll 4 decks, it would be 4 dice.
Does she know so much about it? I'm not sure.
It's kind of like general, could be kind of general knowledge. Maybe you might have, maybe you've been on a frigate before.
Yeah. So I kind of like
Doesn't
give
hurt.
Give it a
You don't have to-
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, you can if you roll a success, you can come up with a background detail why you know about stuff like that. So
Sure. I've won
Okay.
nice.
1 success.
You
I have
think
overheard people talking about this, about freighters like this.
so? What you think is that on a freighter like this, the engineering level is the one that has the cargo and the hangar bays. Sometimes it's in the middle of a ship, sometimes it's at the bottom of a ship. Usually the crew level, which has things like crew living quarters, the bridge, and like all those sorts of things for the crew is usually at the top, and the middle or the other level is usually the functional level for, if this is a medical frigate, then this would be where all the like medical bays and those sorts of things would be. So it seems like maybe this is the engineering level where you'd expect to find reactors and things like that. The next level up is possibly the medical level where you'd find all the medical stuff, and the top level will be the crew level. So that's your guess.
Yeah.
And we're all nodding like, oh yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, sure. Nira says, well, if this is the engineering level, we should probably try and get some power on, mainly because, you know, the admiral's here and he's only got an hour. He can only live for an hour, and you know the clock's ticking. Otherwise, I'll have to send him back to the ship.
Shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
We can send him back to the ship if we can't get the power on. That's fine.
Yeah. But also, if we get all the power on, don't we give power back to the supposedly maybe still living guys here?
Well, if they still are still living, still alive, then probably they managed to get by somehow. But
yeah, that's something worth considering.
Yeah, I mean, just the thought, like they know this ship better than we do, and it might be a benefit for them if they get their power back. So I don't know if we can switch the power on locally.
The other thing to think about is if we can switch the power on, maybe we can nudge the ship. We can get enough power to the engines to nudge the ship out of its decaying orbit in case there's something important here that we need to salvage.
Yeah, also a good thought. True.
We could.
I think
take it
something is
completely over.
definitely wrong here.
3 of us.
Like,
no need of not aiming for the sky, right? Or the stars. So
No,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we move back.
right.
We move to the third, the number 3 here. This is cargo control. So there is a loading vehicle here. This has not been damaged, this room, so everything's intact, but some of the things are still kind of floating around in 0G. There's also some crates in here. There's some tools that are kind of some kind of large tools, refueling lines, things like that. So this is basically goes along with the kind of the cargo and the hangar sort of stuff. Keep moving. Oh, one thing. Everybody make another roll for your encounter table. So 1 die.
Yeah. I got a 2.
Okay. So every room we move into, we're going to be making a roll for encounter. Okay.
All right.
I will take a quick look in a crate if I can access one quickly.
Yeah, as we're floating past, you kind of like maneuver yourself off to the side, and you kind of like pry one open. It's got like tools in it, like ship repairing tools, kind of standard stuff.
Okay.
Probably not worth a lot.
Some emergency energy cell or something like that.
Ooh. Why don't you roll a d6, and if you get a 6, then it does have one. So kind of have like I don't want to use the term luck, but it's like a luck roll kind of. No,
it's been a 5. But
yeah. Okay. So, 5 is close. You find an empty energy cell.
Yeah,
No.
good enough.
You're like, ah. All right. We continue long then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or do you want to stop and do anything else?
No, not really.
No, I think we should.
Okay. As we move down into number 5, everybody roll another die for your encounter table or your encounter tracker.
I got a 6.
I have a 1.
I got a 3. So move your tracker down to 2. That means every time you're rolling for an encounter, you're rolling 2 dice, Jakob.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because you're up to the number 2 now.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, you've moved the wrong one. You've moved the C is for Carmen. The J is for
Sorry.
yours. That's fine. Just so I know which one's happening. Okay. This is a workshop. So there are basically it's kind of like a crossroads. Crossroads. It's like a room that has corridors coming off all ends of it. Again, it hasn't been damaged, and kind of all along the walls are these workbenches or like tables where there's various tools set up, and it looks like it's mostly to like repair engineering related things rather than modifying weapons or anything like that. So it's to repair stuff on the ship if it goes bad. And in fact, the admiral goes a bit crazy when he comes in here. He immediately is like playing with all the toys, and I'm like
So
having
many
to pull him
hyperspanners
back,
here.
like, Admiral, come on, we're on... Oh, man, Admiral. But I realized I also have a helmet on. He can't hear me, right?
But
So
now he knows what a hyperspanner is, and he will give you one. Be sure.
and there's also tools like floating around. So there's this room actually has quite a lot of like small debris kind of like floating around, because a lot of the tools weren't like lashed down. Yeah.
Captain, will it be a good idea to take some of those tools with us? Like, how do we fix the generator if we get there?
Well, I've brought my tool bag with me, and I'm just gonna go up here and say my freebie item of gear is a tool bag.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I imagine she's got her trusty spanner that's doesn't trust the imperial ones, something like that. Okay, well, we have 3 directions we could go. We can kind of maybe shine our it seems like a lot of the doors are open as well. So there's so far hasn't been any doors that we need that were closed that we've needed to like manually open because there's no power. So it also seems a bit strange. And we can kind of shine our lamps into the different rooms. We can kind of see, it looks like the number 4 is another kind of, looks similar to this one, like a workshop maybe, or maybe some kind of like research, or maybe an engineering bay, something like that. In number 6, it looks like there are a lot of like power conduits in there. So this might be a room where there potentially is like where a lot of the cabling goes through. To kind of go through to different parts of the ship. And number 8, it appears to be some sort of like large, something big in the room. Like maybe in the center of the room is something very big, taking up most of the room. We can't really tell what it is.
Mm-hmm.
As in a structure,
Well,
not as in like a monster.
Well, let's keep our eyes peeled for an elevator shaft or something like that.
Turbo
even
lift.
without the power, we should be, a turbo lift. Sorry, we should be able to get up there quite easily.
Yep. So which direction are we going?
Well, with all the destroyed cable, power conduits over there, it could be good to fix this. Otherwise, it costs quite some time, does it?
I also kind of want to see what the big structure is.
Yeah.
Do you want to split up?
No.
No, yeah.
It happened in
No.
the other game I ran. We had 4 players, so it's like, oh, 2 and 2. It's perfect. I was like, oh, if you really want to. Have you never watched a
Oh
horror
no,
movie?
let's go for the big structure. And
Okay.
we can decide what we do if whatever we find first, like an turbo
Yep.
lift or
Yeah.
Okay.
the
We float through the open door, and there is like a cylinder, a very large cylindrical structure in the middle of the room, and we can see some signs up saying, danger, highly flammable, whatever, something like that. And we realize that this is not sorry. It's not highly flammable. This is coolant. It's the coolant room. Um,
Mm,
so this is coolant for the reactors, and the reactors would probably be very close to this room.
yeah, probably number 10. But the coolant is not damaged or something like that. It's not
Nope.
leaking or
Nope.
okay,
You
cool.
say 10, but
Well,
as we go
that's
around the
good.
sides, whichever side we go around, let's say we go around the
Mm,
number 7, the undamaged side.
mhm,
Remember,
yeah.
there's a big round cylinder in the room. We kind of shine our lamps through to the room number 7, and we can see that there is indeed a very large reactor in there. We also haven't rolled for encounters yet for this room, so everybody roll.
Oh
And
yeah.
Jakob, you're rolling 2 dice this time.
Yes, I got 2 ones. I'm fine.
I have a
Okay.
5.
Yep, I got a 3. So yeah, there's a reactor. Looks like there's a reactor number 7. Do you want to see if we can see what's in the other rooms?
What do you think? Should we turn on the reactors right now already, or should we, well, take the advantage of the zero gravity to get a little bit quicker up the other levels without alarming anyone?
I don't know. Power is beneficial for us, is also beneficial to them. I expect people still to be here. So well, you're good at shooting, so I don't know. Maybe. What do you think?
I would say we should prepare everything so we can very easily fix the generators once we back down here. But for the first time, like scouting around,
Uh-huh.
maybe keep below the radar, right? And I look to Nira. Let's take a look at
Well,
this reactor.
we can at least see
Getting the ship back to
what state. We can at least see what state it's in, and yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if it's even if it's even fixable.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
we all
mean, I
drift
like the
over into
idea of
7.
getting this ship out of the orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So we drift across to number 7. We're all gonna make another encounter roll.
Yep.
Yes.
I got a 1, so I'm okay still.
Nope.
I got it too.
1 and 4.
Okay. And the reactor appears to be the room seems to be in just fine. There's in fact nothing floating around in it. It's like a reactor room doesn't have a lot of extra stuff in it anyway, so yeah, it appears to be completely undamaged. And we can kind of, as we peer, it was kind of looking around it in the room to the north of it, number 4. It definitely seems like it's sort of engineering bay, so probably where you would control all of the, it would have all the consoles and the computers to control things like the reactors and those sorts of things.
Are there any logs?
We're
Like
in the
anything
reactor
where I
room. Do
could
we want to look?
access
There will be, if it's an engineering
logs?
room, you can probably see some terminals where you could if you've got power, you could turn to access one of them.
Mm.
Remember,
I
you
mean,
can also
I'm
we can also
wondering.
say you have one free item you can take with you. So if you really, we can make a luck roll and see if we can find anything in the room that is
Yeah.
a source of power. But if not,
Mhm.
that could be a good thing to take with you, like a even like a data pad, which is like a tablet. They
Mm-hmm.
have a source of power that you can use to turn to like hack into terminals, things like that. They can be
Yeah,
useful for other things too.
I think a data pad is a good thing because you can also open doors with it. Probably, yeah. So that
You
makes
could,
sense
yeah.
for me to bring.
Yeah.
It
And we could
makes
say,
sense, like as a sleeve.
yeah. I think you've got a data pad. It makes sense that you would have like a data pad with some attachments on it that you can kind of like plug it in to hack into things.
Yeah,
Not as like
I
a
think
hacker,
that
because you're
makes
not
sense.
a hacker or a slicer as they're called in Star
No,
Wars, but as you said, to manipulate things like basic security systems, definitely would make
exactly. Like
sense.
just basic stuff that
Okay,
makes sense. So let's give me a
so
data pad.
go ahead and add that to your freebie thing. We go up to number
Yep.
4. Everybody make another roll for
Do we
your
want to?
encounter. Yeah,
Yeah.
go on.
Do we
Do you
want
want?
to? Do you want to take a little break after we're done with number
Yeah,
4?
I was just keeping an eye on the
Yes.
time. Yep, we'll do that. So everybody make an objective.
I got a 6. Wow.
Oh, I still got a 1.
I have a 3.
All right.
Mm.
All right.
If the reactor is still unharmed, then why is no one patrolling down there? Shouldn't be there any Imperial personnel capable of, I mean, keeping the power going?
I mean, I'm wondering why they didn't fix it. I mean, they
Yeah,
don't want to
exactly.
be dragged down to the planet, so it's a bit weird that they didn't fix this. Also, it makes it more like a trap. Like they
Yeah.
wanted people to come here.
Or, I mean, there's a medical ship. Maybe
Are we
maybe
sure
everyone
about
on
that?
board is not able anymore to do anything. I'm not
Are we sure about that? It doesn't
well,
really seem medical so far.
It
yeah,
doesn't.
because
That's
we're on the lower
definitely.
levels. But
TIE
yeah.
fighters, a lot of artillery, more than expected.
Well,
Come on, something stinks.
yeah, but that's not a warship. I think maybe they've got something very precious or dangerous here that I try to protect. And while
I think just in case we should explode this reactor. Just saying.
Oh,
oops,
You fat bastard.
maybe it's time for a break.
I think we'll take a quick break here then, as we're looking around the engineering,
Yeah.
and Dex is getting ready to hook up to one of the consoles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds
So we'll
about
take
right.
a
Perfect.
very short break, and be back
Yep.
in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. How long do you need?
10 minutes would be great so I
Yep.
can
Yeah.
feed the wrecking crew behind me.
All right. So yeah, 10-minute break, and we'll come back after
All right.
that. All right.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
See you.
Okay.
No worries.
All right. So we're back live. We've made it to engineering. Yeah, and basically we just need a tech roll from you. I think
Yeah.
you can get a +1 because we're all helping. You get a +1 as well from your gear, and you can
Yeah.
get a +1 from your concept because you're not hacking into like a security system. You're trying to like it's kind of more of like an engineering thing that you're trying to do rather than a
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's kind of slightly outside of your wheelhouse, but you should yeah. You got enough extra dice there to help out.
Alrighty.
So that's 3 additional.
So let's see. Yep. So I'm rolling with 6 dice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
1 dice because all helping. Yeah, exactly. Alrighty.
for
I
it.
have 1 success.
Nice.
Okay. Good. We even talked about pushing. Pushing is basically you have an option. You can either decide to take trauma related to what you're doing. So when you're doing tech, it's a physical action. You would take 1 harm to push. If you're doing something mental, you take 1 stress. Or if you're using equipment, you can choose to have the equipment be damaged instead, in which case it needs to be repaired to get it back up. And it's basically the rating. If it's a +1, most stuff is +1, so you just damage the weapon, you can't use it again until it's repaired. And a repair is a tech thing, and a tool bag would help to repair something if it's needed. So yeah, that's how it works. I think because we are taking time in this engineering bay, we'll talk about what happens when you get it online. It takes you a short amount of time to do it, so I want another danger roll, which is going to be, yep, Jakob, 5 dice.
There is danger afoot. There is danger afoot. Yep, I got
All
a
right.
6.
And because we are, we found like an engineering room, there's potential that we could maybe find something on this terminal. We're not there yet. We're going to need a roll on the objective table as well, or the objective tracker, which is just the 1 die.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's true. And that 1 die is a 6.
Wow.
Good job. All right, so you can move that
I
down
just
1.
released.
I'm right there. I'll do it.
Okay.
So that's down to
Okay.
2. All right. Oh, I accidentally copied it. Okay. All right. So after a bit of kind of fiddling with the power on your data pad, you're able to power up one of the terminals here in the engineering bay, and from this terminal you it's basically controls the power on the ship. So you have the option. It shows you that there are 2 reactors. One of the reactors is showing as being offline. Unavailable. They're both offline, but one of them is unavailable. And from the diagram, you can tell it looks like it's coming from the from room number 9 on the thingy.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's basically 2 reactors on board. One of them seems to be damaged, but you can definitely just power one of them on if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And you
I
can
convey that to the others.
Mm-hmm.
So like only one generator on is not that we have one of the thrusters working, but we have the whole ship working, but on lower energy, right? So if we wanted to try to,
you can probably
to
get the
escape-
engines running. You could probably get the engines running.
Mhm.
There, you just definitely wouldn't have enough power to jump to hyperspace.
Yeah.
And you don't know you don't actually know the state of the engines. The engines could be damaged. But theoretically, if the engines aren't damaged, or if there's maybe one good engine, you might be able to get enough thrust to push it out of orbit. Yeah. But to do that, you basically, I mean, anybody on board would know that you've powered up the reactor, because it's kind of connected to all the systems on the ship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can also say with a success, you get a basic diagram of the ship, and it shows you all the rooms on the engineering level. It doesn't have like a diagram of the other rooms. Well, maybe not this terminal. This terminal doesn't have all the diagrams for this ship, but it does show you that it says crew level at the top, and it says medical level for the middle one.
I was
And the
very right with my first guess.
Yeah.
Power relay. This one's called that room. Okay. And
with your
yeah, go on.
With your data pad, would you be able to remote start it so we can use the cover of the blackout and activate the generators once we are up there and can safely get the ship out of the pull, of the planet's pull?
Don't think so. I think I need to directly access the engineering part, because otherwise I'm still kind of, I find it suspicious that they didn't fix this. They could.
Yeah. If there's anyone there that can. I mean,
it's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
Yes, exactly. It could be a trap, could be some weird experiments going on there, or experiments that have gone out of hand. And maybe there are signs of life, but they are not really able to operate anything anymore.
Maybe we're going to be an experiment. I don't know.
Who knows? The freebie item of gear, could this be a small droid or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
In the previous game we played, the freebie was one person took an astromech droid as a freebie. So absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So I pulled this astromech droid out of my ass. No,
it's basically been following us the whole time. That's fine. If you want.
Yeah, the astromech could hide there, and we could have contact via comlink to it, and then could activate the generator when I ask it politely. Yeah. Absolutely do this. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got an astromech droid. The astromech droid is now parked. I'll see if I can find a quick image of R2D2 and drop it in there. Oh, I think we just know. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess around with artwork and tokens and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've put all the labels on the rest of the room because we've got that from the schematics on the engineering console.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see that there's the second reactor is probably damaged. Power relay is probably also, it will definitely have some damage. But you might be able to route power to other parts of the ship, but there might be issues with getting it everywhere, if that makes sense, because some of it's going to be damaged.
Yeah.
And at the back is engines and fuel. It looks like a big portion of that room is probably damaged. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would suppose we check engines and the fuel.
Yeah.
Just in case, I think the idea of getting the ship out of orbit would be quite a good idea, especially if this ball of dirt down there is inhabited.
Okay.
It'd be quite unpleasant.
So let's make two as we're moving across. We're moving down to the reactor. Then we're moving across to the coolant.
The astromech is just heading there. Yeah.
Astromech is sitting in engineering, waiting for our call. The turbolift is turbolifts are
like some crevice.
Turbolifts are like, yeah, they're like cylindrical tubes that have the elevator thing that goes up and down. So the room goes around it. The turbolift, it doesn't have power to it right now. The door is closed to the turbolift, but we could open it. Engines and fuel, we get there, and by the time we get there, let's make 2 rolls for the turbolift and the engines and fuel. I've said before when I was playing this that if we're backtracking, we don't roll for every room again. Depends. If you're backtracking across the entire ship, then you might do like 1 or 2 rolls. but certainly every new room that you're entering, you're going to make a roll. So I'm still only rolling 1 from my encounter tracker. I got a 6 for my first one, so I'm rolling 2 now, and I didn't get any 6s. So
Yeah,
I'm at 2 now.
I rolled. Sorry.
Okay, first one is a 5. Second one is also a 5.
I rolled 2 ones and a 3, so
okay,
I'm safe.
But you can need to roll twice.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, absolutely. There I go back down to confirmed.
Confirmed. So we hear something. Maybe we're going past a turbo lift. We hear like some distant clanking noise coming from inside the turbo lift.
Oh no.
Okay. We make our way to the engine room, and the engine room is basically this where you have there's terminals here to control the engines. You brought your data pad with you. I would maybe say that the astromech has built-in power, enough built-in power to power one single terminal itself. You hook in. We don't need another roll for it. You hook into the engines, and it appears that only one engine is online or is able to be run. The other two are so there's like 3 big engines at the back in a line. 2 of them are damaged. One of them is severely damaged. The second one is needs repair before it will even attempt to be brought online, and the third one is in operational order. Fuel cells. They're kind of. I think. If we're thinking about this logically, this whole room should have exploded because it's got fuel on board. If the room's been damaged, it probably exploded. But we'll hand wave that a little bit and say that there is some fuel here, enough to give it a short burst, to get moving again. And the fuel lines are connected, so we can maybe spend a little bit of time just connecting the fuel lines to the one operational engine in case we want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're currently connected to all 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm asking Nira, would it suffice with one engine to get us out of the gravitational pull of the planet?
It should be enough, just to give it a push. There's only one way to find out. It's difficult to know without knowing how much force one engine will provide, and against the mass of the ship and the gravitational pull of this planet. I'm not at a computer to figure it out. In fact, we probably don't even have the data necessary unless we go back to the engineering room and pull it. Maybe your R2 unit could try and calculate that, but it's worth a shot, If it doesn't even pull us out of the orbit, it might just give Vice a little bit more time, at the very least.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so let's do it. And yeah.
Oh,
do we want to wait maybe until we're a bit further along the danger tracker, or?
Maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have to refuel it right now. So
connect the fuel lines, as we said. Yeah.
Yeah, connect the fuel lines so that we can remotely ask the astromech to power it. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we're spending a bit of time here. So we definitely need another danger roll.
Yeah.
Please don't.
That's fine. That's fine. Nothing happens.
You're rolling the 4 dice, yeah?
3 4s and a 5. But
okay.
Yeah, I rolled
good.
4 dice.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we take some time. We connect the fuel lines to the one good engine, and we finished. It takes us a few minutes, maybe like 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes. What do you want to do now? I guess we're gonna take a turbo lift up to the next level, right?
Yeah, I mean, we got the 0G. We can just float up there. And in case anything nasty lives in there, and I pull at the fuel cell on the cable that's I've been dragging around with me all the time.
Yeah. I then say, okay, if we're not turning the power on, I need to bring the Admiral back to the ship. Otherwise, he's gonna he's gonna die.
Oh, sure.
It's probably been about
Ah, yeah.
40 minutes altogether or so.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably got like a special special timer keeping an eye on things.
Yeah.
So you stay here. I'll quickly head back to the ship, drop the admiral off, and come straight back. Okay?
All right.
Or
I
do
don't
you
know.
all go back
filling
together?
up with some perfect idea.
Well, you can all come
Uh,
with me if you want.
yeah. I mean, I don't think there's much danger, but yeah.
Or we can turn the power on, and then we can just keep going. We could actually use the turbo lift. If there's somebody in the turbo lift, like inside it right now, and we think it might be someone bad, then we could turn the power on and squish them.
Well,
Just
True.
throwing it out there.
it's a neat idea. Or everyone is waiting up there for us when the power lift arrives. Blast is drawn, so let's head back to the ship. Drop off the little
Okay.
guy and then make our merry way.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think
it's
we should, give it a bit of. We should hurry a little.
yeah. So 1, 2, 3 to make back to the ship, drop him in, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to make it back to the turbo lift. That's going to be 2 more rolls, I think, on the encounter tables, and also 1 more roll on the danger table. So why do the danger table
Okay.
first, Jakob?
Yeah. No, nothing happening.
Okay. And then 2 rolls each, remember, on the encounter tables.
First
Ooh,
encounter
I got
table, nothing
snake
happening.
eyes. 2 ones
Second
on
one.
first roll.
Nothing happens.
Oh, yep. My encounter is closing.
All right.
Nope, nothing happens.
All right. Yeah, my 2 rolls, nothing happens either. So, well, you still haven't rolled a single 6 for the encounter, huh, Carmen? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, I won't say anything. All right, we make it back to the turbo lift, and there's definitely the noises from inside it seem more frequent, maybe louder. Like we're picking them up. I like to think that there are some sort of, I don't know how sound works in a vacuum, but it's Star Wars, right? They go out into space with like little masks over their faces in is Empire Strikes Back when they're in the or I can't remember which one. They're inside the asteroid crater, remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
Minox are like grabbing onto the ship, and they've got these like little masks over their faces. Like you're in like space, and you've got a mask on. Like, okay,
It's
how are
nice
your
to have
eyeballs
warm
working
arts
right
and
now?
atmosphere.
Anyway, so we can
All right.
maybe hear somehow we can hear sounds a little bit from outside. Maybe there's like some sort of sensors picking things up and relaying it through our helmets or whatever. And there's some sounds, well, maybe even voices speaking, but we can't quite make out what it is from inside the turbo lift.
Okay, now we're inside the turbo lift, or
No,
we're outside.
we're outside the turbo lift. It's like a cylinder going around the room with a door that opens up, and once the door opens up, normally there'll be a lift waiting for you when it arrives, and it's like a round lift that shoots you up or down or whatever. But there's no power. So if we kind of pry the doors open, then we would imagine either to see that it could either be at our level waiting for us, or it would just be like an elevator shaft, like a round cylindrical shaft.
Okay, so either way, we should get in there and see what's up.
Yeah, I have to pry the doors open.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can Mira help with her tool bag? Like, is there
Sure.
a crowbar or something like that?
Yeah. I think, well, if we all help, I'll make the roll with 1 dice for the tool bag, 1 dice for the help, and it's a strength roll. So I'm rolling 5 dice. I don't think any of us have anything in our career that can help with prying stuff open. I don't get any successes, but I think it makes sense here where I'm going to take some harm. Kind of hurt myself while we're trying. Oops. Failed.
Shit.
It's fine.
Ah,
So
damn
we
it.
basically can't get this door open. It seems like we're trying. In fact, let's not say I take some harm. Kind of hurt myself while I'm trying to pry it open, and just can't get it open. So we're kind of thinking like maybe we should use some power to power on the. There's a console like attached to the turbo lift, so we could like power it on.
Yeah.
But it's might be very likely to anybody on the ship if the turbo lift is suddenly operating because it kind of touches every level.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get to any other level of the ship unless we go. I mean, the other option is we can go outside, like out into space, and enter from the exterior, right? Because it's all been smashed up.
Yeah,
If we don't
on
want
the
to,
backside.
if we don't want to open the turbo lift,
I feel
That
like,
probably
I don't know, that
makes
might waste time, and
Yeah.
we've already wasted it by trying to pry the doors open, and I feel like we're a bit on
Mm.
a run here, so maybe risk the energy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
okay. I think it makes sense maybe that because you're using your data pad to like power these systems, that while the power is off, it has a limited number of uses.
hmm
How many should we say? You've used it how many times now? Twice?
Once.
This would be the second time.
No, but used it for the engines too, right? Engineering bay and then the engines.
Oh, did we have to use it on the engines already? Like I
To
thought only
to
at the
find out what
console
state
for the
For,
generator.
for,
We
to
did
run
say
analytics, yes.
to see whether the engines were still working. Yep, we did. So let's just say you've got six uses
All right.
for it before it's
Okay.
completely run out of power, and then it needs to be charged.
Mhm.
So if on your sheet
Makes
there,
sense.
just where it says data pad, we'll just I'll put here times 4. Times 4, we'll say charges, and then we just reduce that number as we use it. Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna use it, but we're gonna use it now, I guess. So you can change it to 3 straight away. And we pop the door open after I failed to pry it open somehow with my tool bag. And I think because we've kind of foreshadowed it enough with the encounter, we know that there's probably somebody inside the turbolift shaft. Rather than making another roll for it, we can just basically say we're having that encounter. But I think we should also both of us also roll on the other encounters. So Carmen and myself.
I'm ready myself. Guns drawn.
Yep.
I'm doing the tech stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a 6.
Okay, so you're down at 2. I got a 6 as well, so I'm up to 3. All right. So we open the turbolift doors, and you're ready there with we all have our blasters out. We're all or blasters, and Dex has her harpoon launcher ready to go. You can choose whether you have rope attached to it, some sort of like synth rope or whatever. And you can attach it or not.
I mean, I think
That's you.
She uses it to climb most of the time.
Sure. You don't really need it in 0G at the moment, but you can definitely, if you want, you can decide whether you've got rope attached or not. Okay. And we kind of power it up. I guess when we provide power to it, you see that the turbo lift is at the top. It's at the crew level, not on our level. And you can either force an emergency opening of the doors, or you can call the lift to our level or any other level, because you're kind of like into the IT system to control the, like the admin. You've got like admin access to the turbo lift. You can't see whether there's anybody inside it or anything like that. It's just showing you have these different options. So what do you want to do?
So,
You basically plugged your thing in. You've powered it up, and now you're hovering. Like, which button do you want to press?
I mean, if anything is in there below, so that we could hear it, it's probably below the lift itself, the cabin itself.
Is it?
I think, because
Maybe.
And then you could basically crush it simply.
I
And
would absolutely, if it makes, if it, from listening, it seems like somebody is beneath, is in the shaft of the lift. Fucking criminal. I wanna push that. I gonna send it down and squish whoever is there.
Is there a period of time where you're kind of like contemplating whether you're going to do it or not? It seems like there's a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, there, like, she's a bit nervous about it, and then it goes like, fuck it. And
Okay. I'm going to
pushes
roll
down.
a 50-50 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So there's a bit of hesitation. While you're doing the hesitation, there is power to the turbo lift. So the lights are kind of like flickering on for the turbo lift and stuff. And then you're like, fuck it. Boop. You push the button. You don't hear any screams, you don't hear any squishes, anything like that. And the turbo lift, the doors pop open, and the turbo lift is there lit up for you to get on board. For us to get on board.
Oh.
Okay, let's which level are we going to?
I would suppose straight to the top. Let's get to the bridge and get this bad boy out of the orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as we
Yeah.
got this danger away from us, we can take care of everything else, right?
So
Sure,
you've enough.
also there should be logs on the bridge that would give us information.
Sure.
You have enough power to like tell it to do one more run, and then when you got to unplug your data pad, it'll basically get you to one level, and then it'll shut itself off again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like holding the lift door, right? The elevator door, and like okay, tell it to go to the crew level. You do it, boop, boop, and then you unplug it. You rush on board. We move our hand. It closes. We zip up, and the doors open, and then the lights go off. And like still, it's all in 0G, so we're kind of like floating in when it's going up. We're maybe stuck to the floor of it, as it's pushed us up in 0G.
Yeah.
And yeah, we kind of like push ourselves off of the floor, float through the door that's opened, and let me reveal the deck for.
Oh,
all right. So we are in number 26 here, which is the. Whoop, did it work? Hold on. Undo. Which is this one here? Okay.
Okay. Do we crush anything on the way back?
Doesn't sound like it.
I mean,
doesn't sound like it. So basically, I rolled a 50-50 die, and it would be a case of whether if someone was inside the elevator shaft, whether they realized, oh, it's powering up, maybe we should get out.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your tracker is still active. In fact, because we basically moved to a new level, we're gonna roll on the objective, the danger, and all three encounter tables. So choose which order you're doing them in.
All right.
Okay, first the danger. Ha! No danger.
Okay.
Danger is still at 4, and encounter, it's 5. So, yep. Encounter is like now
at 6.
Whatever is near. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going for objective first, then encounter.
Okay.
Objective, nothing happens.
Okay.
And also no other parts of the encounter.
Okay, so
It's
both
all
no
clear.
6s. All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's move our characters over to there. Okay. So we're in a turbo lift. There, we can see behind us. There, the corridor kind of branches off, and ahead of us, it goes forward somewhere else. So, what do we need to do?
Doesn't seem like the bridge to be at the completely rear of the ship. So, I suppose
Probably
we should
not.
head this direction, and I point to number 31.
Okay.
What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
We want to rush to the bridge, right? We think the bridge is at the front.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
move ahead to
Yeah.
31. Oh, give me a second. Yeah, this is very clearly a mess hall. For those of you who don't know what a mess hall is, that is where the dining room, basically. So we see that there are probably like 2 long tables with like stools that don't have backs to them, that are kind of bolted to the floor, or maybe benches bolted to the floor going around it. There are no like cooking facilities, nowhere to prepare food here. This is purely a place to eat for the crew of a frigate.
Okay. Also not only for the officers, also for the crew. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Officers
see
might
anything? Are there
eat
still
somewhere else.
plates?
You don't know, but yeah.
Are there still plates
Yeah,
and bowls
sure.
on the
There's like
table?
plates, and there's like frozen like vacuum frozen food floating around in here. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Huh. Interesting. So they
And let's say
looks like
there's
they don't really prepare properly.
also maybe 1 or 2 bodies, like
Mhm.
with they're frozen in frozen. They're they're clearly been exposed to the vacuum of space and have died. Kind of
They
floating
probably
in here.
wear uniforms.
They are wearing
Can I?
Imperial officer uniforms.
Okay, so no medical personnel, but
They
officers,
seem to
like-
be more like I don't need a knowledge roll for this, I don't think.
Oh, sure.
No, I don't need one. I
It's
don't
like
need one.
wisdom? Wit?
Nope, you don't need
Okay.
one.
Okay.
We can tell straight away
Okay.
because of us being rebels. They are both wearing what seems to be like maybe prison guard uniforms,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
something
Okay.
along those lines.
Huh. Remembers me to a prison unit. Personally, makes me wonder where the prisoners are. But maybe gives us a hint about the.
Maybe in the turbo lift. Ah.
Not anymore, I suppose. But yeah,
I
probably
don't know.
they've
I'm
been.
not sure if I squished somebody.
I didn't hear anything, but
Same,
well,
so I don't think so.
could be that they have been the test subjects of whatever dastardly stuff's going on here, right?
Okay,
Okay.
we also each need to make an encounter test. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I got encounters near. Ah, okay, now if I roll 1 more 6, which absolutely happened right now, we have an encounter. I trigger an encounter.
Nope.
All right.
I don't.
So we're kind of looking around. We're like grabbing. One of us is grabbing. Maybe I grab because I'm kind of like the oldest. I'm a kind of violent person. Less likely to be shocked by it. I float over and grab one of the bodies and pull them over, and we're kind of looking at the uniform and being like, this doesn't look like medical fatigues. It doesn't look like normal Imperial naval fatigues. This looks like prison guard uniform. What is this thing? What is this frigate? When suddenly out of number 32, we get something come floating out.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You didn't see that. Hold on. Bring it to the front. And what it is it is two, one from each. One from each. They're actually called space troopers. They have little like tubes. They're basically stormtroopers. They have little tubes going into their masks. If you zoom right in on the image, you can see this little tube going in there. The image is from it's like a product photo of some space trooper action figures from I don't know
Yes.
from some time in the past. But basically, they come floating in, and they're floating in like head first, like Superman style, with their blaster rifles in front of them. And we're gonna go straight into combat for these guys. So the way combat works in this game, we're gonna do it kind of narratively. We're gonna have them fire first because we weren't expecting them. We're kind of distracted a bit. I guess what we could do, we could each make a test first to see if we notice them, which would be wits.
Mhm.
So without being able to push it, we're just doing a straight up wits roll for all of us.
Okay.
If you
Alrighty.
succeed, you're gonna be able to basically be able to react before they do.
I take my luck and get an
Wow.
extra, get in one success that I also need because I don't have any else.
All right.
Nope. I don't. I'm just really into these corpses.
Okay. I got 2 successes, which means I create 1 momentum for us, which is good. We can use in the first. It have to be in this next round going forward. So
All right.
that means that both Gavo and Nira are going to be able to react first. We notice them coming in, and we basically spin around in mid 0G and can shoot at them before they come through. One thing I need to mention here is that they have a defense rating of 2, which means we need to get 2 successes to do any damage to them. So bear that in mind. And go ahead and give me an attack roll. So for shooting, wits is actually your shot, like your shooting stat.
Cool.
So that's why you have a stat. You're a gunslinger and you have a wits of 5 because that's like basically what you're good at.
Yeah.
You get a +2 for your dueling blasters, and you get another +2 because you're a gunslinger. So you're rolling 9 dice, which is the maximum if you're not getting any kind of additional help from any other external factor.
Yeah. What I
And
do is I still have the fuel cell on my cable. Yeah. Sorry, Matt.
And I'm just gonna say, for people watching, I've got a blaster pistol, a heavy blaster pistol, which gives me +2. And as a smuggler captain, I'm used to sometimes shooting my way out. I get a +1 for my career, but not +2. So I'm rolling 7. Okay, go on then, Jakob.
Yeah. I before because I'm also in danger with like my fuel cell balloon on my cable, so I kick the cell towards the next space trooper. And
Oh
then
yeah, I
shoot
like it.
the cell.
You get it.
And,
I think we can give you a
maybe it's
+1
a
for
bit
that.
overkill.
You get +1 for that as
Oh,
well. I
thank
think.
you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit overkill, but better it explodes in his face than in mine. So that can't be possible. I'm gonna push myself. So
You take 1 stress, which applies after the test, but yeah, to push
okay, so I can reroll everything right now.
everything. Yep, all the dice.
Yeah. Okay.
You need 2 successes.
All the 6s are gone for. It's only 1 6. Come
Okay.
on.
So with 1 6, what you can do is you basically can do a stunt. You can't damage, you can't harm them, but you can do something else like push them back, or I mean, if there was gravity, you could knock them prone. You could disarm them, something along those lines.
Yeah,
without doing
I
harm.
think
So what do you want to do?
I'm stressed, and so I shoot the fuel cell too early, so the blast doesn't really hit them, but the shockwave just sends them flying back into the other room.
Oh yeah, back
I
the
think
way he came.
That's enough
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep. So he's basically he's kind of out of it for this round. This next round, he's gonna have to kind of float back in, get his grab onto something, pull himself back through. I'm gonna roll to attack mine. 3 successes.
Yes.
I used all my
Which
6s on those
they
encounter
have-
rolls. Damn it.
They have armor, so basically, the first shot takes out their armor with the 2, and the second one is going to do 1 point of damage to them. So I'm basically just like spin around, and I'm like, pew, 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 pew. And every shot is kind of like bang on target on this guy. Like maybe just like I'm aiming for his neck, right where the join is in the armor. And I managed to kind of like do some damage, and it kind of flinches a bit. But this is where they're going to now react before Dex gets to act, because Dex didn't
Yep.
failed that wits roll. So I'm gonna make a random roll. And I'm looking at our video feed, so I'll be a 1, 2. Carmen will be 3 and 4, and Jakob will be 5 and 6 to see who they're targeting. The first guy, basically. I mean, it makes most sense that he'd probably be targeting me as the person who just shot him. But maybe I'm not the closest to him. I don't know. We're kind of handling this narrative. Okay, I rolled a 2. So he's attacking me. And this is a player-facing system, so we don't roll for them to hit me. I roll to see if I can get out of the way. And that's basically a straight-up agility roll. I don't get any bonuses for this because it doesn't make sense I have no gear, and as a smuggler captain, if Dex gets shot at, Dex is definitely like an agile creature. You're already rolling 5 for your agility to dodge out of the way, and you probably get at least 1, maybe 2 to extra for your career. But for me, I'm just rolling 3 dice. They are attacking with basically an attack of 2, so I have to get 2 successes to not take any damage. If I fail, I got no successes. So I'm taking 2 damage, which means my harm goes up to 3, and I've got 3. I've got -2 to all of my physical stats until I heal myself up. Okay, that was the first one. The second one basically manages to get themselves in order, and they come kind of. We can say that it's taken them time for this current round to basically get back and control themselves after this explosion and prepare themselves to join the fight again. So we'll come back into the fight, and all 3 of us can basically go before they do. So we're all acting before they do. Again, maybe
Could Dex do anything after in the last turn? So
so Dex could. Sorry, yes, of course, yeah. Dex didn't go. There's one.
So
there's one person visible, the one that I shot in the neck, kind of. So that person's still visible.
Yeah. I mean, with my little harpoon thing, I would love to go for exactly that person. And if I could, I mean, I'm dexterous. Like, pull the helmet off. If there's also already a gap, I would love to damage the armor, because like this is not a weapon that really does harm to people, but maybe does harm to armor and stuff.
So rather than shooting them, you're gonna basically try and like scooch over there and like pry the helmet off.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. Yeah. So that'll be an agility test. I think it's probably a +1 for your career, but I wouldn't say +2. So you're looking at 6 dice. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Certainly you still need 2 successes.
But you get 1 +1 from the harpoon launcher as well, right?
No, because she's not using a harpoon launcher.
No,
she's grappling.
I'm
She's
trying.
grappling.
I'm prying it off. I'm trying to grapple, because I mean, I could use the fact that we don't have gravity, so I can float as quickly as they do, and all that. So let's see. That's 2 successes.
Hey, wow. All right. That's we basically they had 2 harm, like 2 like health. And I damaged one of them, so you've damaged the last one. So that one is basically you can go ahead and narrate how you finish him off.
Yeah, I would just, give myself like getting startled because somebody is suddenly shooting in the room, and then just scoot off from the ground, like pushing myself again, and to get quicker, and just get right in their face. I'm basically wrapping myself around their visor so they can't see anything else but me, and then just rip that helmet off.
So they're like last images of this little bat person, like, hello, and then they're like, yeah, very quickly, we're in vacuum of space, basically. Yeah, they're dead.
Kicking off their suffocating body back to my friends.
Okay. Yep. Actually, I like the idea of us making another initiative test. This is still a play test,
Sure.
and I did actually make rules for making making a test at the start of every new round to see if you go before or after the enemies. So let's try this actually. So we roll wits first to see whether we could like get our wits together. Let's roll agility for the second one, which is see if we're like we know the enemy's there. Are we quick enough to basically you know get another attack in? So everybody roll agility.
Get I a +1 by being a notorious gunslinger and
Yeah,
drawing
sure.
first is a
Yep.
very essential skill of that career.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I got a 6. Wow.
I got a 6 as well.
Also got a 6.
Okay, so we're all going
6.
before the stormtroopers. We're like waiting for this one to come in, and we're all gonna. So I'll go last. Whichever you. Let's have Jakob go first.
Yeah,
Since-
absolutely. He's the
Since
gunslinger.
Carmen just killed somebody.
Yeah.
You said you kicked this dead space trooper to our friends. I think I'm gonna catch it.
No. I kick myself from this
Okay.
dead, suffocating body towards you
Okay.
guys.
Okay, I think. Oh, they came out of different doors, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can say this.
Um,
If you look at the map, we can say that the one at the top here has gone back in slightly.
Yeah.
This one is now dead.
Yeah,
We'll just put
okay.
him into the black.
Oh,
Also,
Can
I
I-
can't
can I
use-
We can
stay?
say because you
I'm
kind of
sorry, can I
fire at that.
stay on the body?
You can stay on the body, so you can be like here,
All right.
and let's say I'm kind of in the
Yeah.
middle like that.
because that's what I wanted to do as well. I wanted to use the body as extra armor. But there was probably still some prison guard floating around there. Can I catch one on my way to the entrance?
Yeah,
just-
yeah, for sure. Uh-huh.
Kick myself off from one of the tables. Catch this guy holding in front of me and aiming with my pistol
Meat
on the
shield.
opening while I slowly, dead meat shield. But anyway, while I slowly float toward the entrance, and once the stormtrooper helmet peeks out of it, I'm blasting.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
only with one helmet because I have one
Yeah.
pistol. So you can give me only one dice if you like.
No, I think you get because you're a gunslinger. You get the full whack. I mean,
Okay.
you're getting the full nine dice here.
Okay. 9 dice again. That's awesome.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Kill him. Kill him.
Wait, it was cocked. Yeah, one success again. So,
Do you want to re-roll? Do you want to push?
no, what? Yeah. Oh, I also got one.
the
one
stress-
already. So
The
I-
stress only
yeah,
applies
okay.
after this roll. So if you can kill him,
Yeah.
then and you get stress back if you take like enough time to just kind of like relax a bit.
Okay.
So stress comes back.
So I
pretty
have to
quickly.
re-roll everything, or only the ones that are not a success?
You can re-roll any dice you want. So you always keep the 6
Okay.
and re-roll the rest.
Yeah. Sure. There are a lot of
okay.
4s.
Okay.
May the 4s.
So,
the
again-
4s are with me. Exactly.
Another stunt. You get another
Yeah.
stunt, but you don't do any damage. So the stunt could be again. It's things like knocking them prone, disarming them. So
Yeah.
disarming could be a good option. You can move
Yeah.
them if you want. So it's however you feel you want to do it.
Yeah, I think I hit him in such an angle that he just spins against the side of the corridor he's coming out and just loses his weapon, I suppose.
Okay. So disarming him. Yep.
Yeah, and from the kickback of my dual pistols, I also float back a little bit. The prison guard still holding in front of me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Dex, you want to go next?
Yeah. Ooh. So yeah, I don't know. I wanna fire my little
Your harpoon.
my little harpoon.
Well, you could kick off of the dead space trooper, and like ready your harpoon as you're going through the corridor. Try and shoot him as you're going past. Bearing in mind he's spinning a little bit, so it's going to be kind of hard. It's just fine. It's just why it's like if you
Yeah.
miss, that's why. you would get 3 for your wits for shooting, +1 for your harpoon, +1 for your career. So you're looking at 5 dice, and you need 2
Yeah.
successes. You still have a luck point as well.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes. I wanna shoot him with this harpoon. Also, this harpoon is like it's a one-shot thing, kind of, right? If
Yeah,
it's
but
done, it's
I mean, this is
done.
all narrative, so we can say like you're like repacking the harpoon in there if you want to. So like I don't want to
All
get
right.
hung up on like armor. We can say that the harpoons are sort of Chadrafan size, so they're like smaller, and you have like a quiver of them,
Yeah.
like extra ones on your back or something. So it's effectively
Yeah.
like a crossbow,
Or
like a Star Wars crossbow.
Mhm. Or I could play a long game and if there's rope attached, get this little hook to embed somewhere and try in the next round to strangle that guy.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, all right.
If that's an option.
I mean, basically, the way we're looking at it is if you get a single success, which is not enough to do any damage, then there's a
Yeah.
stunt involved. And the stunt is what I've written for User Mini is like there's a list of stunts, but then it's also a case of like if you have something else that's cool, then go ahead and introduce something else. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like a yes, it's like a no but, right? No, you didn't harm them, but there's something cool that's happening that's
Yeah.
related to firing at them. So for sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
But you need a success. You need at
that's
least
the
one
thing.
success, right?
I need at least one success. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise none of this would work. So it's one success.
Okay. Do you want to push it or do
I'm
you want
not.
to leave it like that?
No, I want to leave it like that. So
Okay.
I would imagine like this little hook is kind of embedding somewhere in the armor and is
Okay.
kind of just sticking there.
So what we can
And
do, what we can say is because of the like harpoon embedding, what we can say is the like mechanically, that could be a momentum. So you're like hooking them,
sure.
making them like making them like a bit more like instead of spinning around hard to hit, you're like hooking them and making it easier for me coming up to use your momentum to get a plus
Oh yeah.
one to my shot to hit them.
Oh, that's
So
a good thing. I could draw them.
narratively,
Yeah.
that's what you're doing, but mechanically, we're using it as a momentum. Yeah,
Yes, that sounds about right.
because that's always sorry. I should have mentioned that Jakob as well. That's always an option. Is you can always use a single success. That's not enough to provide
Yeah.
momentum to the next player.
But do we already have momentum? I thought about this earlier after I.
Oh, we didn't though, because it
my
was
character's action
actually
done.
enough time had passed. I think previously,
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah.
because
So
it kind of
it's
like
gone.
you got to use it almost immediately, otherwise it goes away.
Yeah.
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 So yeah,
Okay.
I will use that as a momentum for your character.
So for me
Yeah.
to like attack, I get my base dice pool is 7 dice. I get 4 for wits, 2 for my pistol, 1 for my career, and then I'm getting an additional 1 for your momentum because you've hooked him. And I need 2 successes to do any damage.
Come on.
I got a single success. I haven't taken any stress yet, so I'm gonna push that. I'm gonna keep my 1/6 out and reroll the other 7 dice. Come on! Oh yeah, 2 dice, 2 6s. So I've got 3 6s in total. So that means I've shot through their armor again, and I've done some damage, but there's still 1 point of harm left on this space trooper.
Okay.
It's their turn to act though, and I'm gonna say probably because I'm the last one who acted, they're gonna shoot at me. I'm not even gonna roll. I'm okay.
They lost their gun.
Oh, they lost their gun.
I disarmed them.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're gonna take their turn. Actually, try to grab onto their trying to with them hooked, trying to grab their gun. It takes their whole turn to actually do that. Okay, so next turn.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the way I've originally had this was
right?
first round, you roll wits to see how quick you are mentally to react to something. Second round is agility to be quick enough to react to everything that's happening. And from the third round onwards, it's about stamina. So strength. So you're rolling strength for your endurance, for your stamina, how kind of. I'm only going to roll 3. I'm not going to take any extras. I think the gunslinger can take 1 extra one. I think Dex doesn't roll any extras.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing happening.
And okay.
Nope.
So the stormtrooper's going to go first, which is good. We're going to roll to see who they're attacking. 1, so attacking me. That makes sense. And I've got to roll agility to basically get out of the way, as they basically grab their weapon, and I'm the one who's just basically shot them. They're shooting back at me. I actually got 1 6. So, but they're doing the target is 2, which means I can spend my 1 6 to reduce the amount of incoming harm by 1. But I'm already on 3 harm, so I'm down to downed, which is cool. I actually didn't have this in my last game, which I was kind of hoping. So I am basically out of this encounter now. As basically, I've shot them. I've done some damage to them, but they managed to get their blaster back and return fire and basically just take me out. So I'm not dead, but I'm downed. So the 2 of you get to go now.
Okay, Jakob, you go first.
Okay. I try to. I'm slowly floating backwards, and I take 2 more shots at them, at the stormtrooper. So I got 2 strats, so I got -1 dice, so I only roll 8 dice, right?
5 plus 2. No, you roll 9 still.
But I got -1 dice.
Sorry, -1. Yeah. Yep. 8. Yep. Sorry.
Come on.
Yeah. Again, the 4s are with me, but not the 6s. This is hell no. I'm stressing me again. Never mind.
Okay. The stress only applies to your next test, not this current one. So you still roll the same dice pool.
Yeah.
You keep the 1 6 that you rolled, and you re-roll the rest.
I didn't roll any 6s, but now I rolled 1 6.
Give that as momentum. I would suggest give that as momentum to Dex.
Yeah.
They're basically flinching away from you.
Shooting.
They're kind of a defensive stature or something like that, as Dex then floats back. You're taking turns.
I think they're even floating more into the room, so they're more in the open. Yeah.
Maybe they're a bit confident because they've taken me out, right?
Yeah.
So there is the hook and the rope attached, and I want to strangle that mofo because, like, that's.
Yeah, you've hooked him.
I would love to go for agility.
Okay. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. But I think you're probably only getting 1 additional dice for this, so you're looking at a dice pool of 6.
Plus the momentum. Right. Don't forget the momentum.
Oh, plus the momentum. Yes.
Oh yeah, true.
So 7 dice.
La. Oh, 7 dice. That is 1.
You need 2 successes.
2 successes. 2
okay.
Successes.
All right. Yeah, so that's enough. That's enough to kill him. So to tell us how you kill the second one too.
Yeah. So still floating on the cold dead body of his friend, colleague, whatever. I kind of just surf the guy and put the rope around his neck and then try to get in there and accidentally almost snap his neck because it's kind of wrenches somewhere in this little corners of his armor and pushes down on his neck.
Yeah. Okay. There's a loud crack that echoes through, and the second space trooper stops moving. Okay. I need to make a special type of roll here because Nira is downed, and you can see that there's things called scars next to the health tracks. When that happens, the way it works is I roll 2d6 and I keep the higher number. If I roll equal to or lower than the current number of scars, I'm now on 1 scar, I'm dead. So I have to roll 2 1s. for the first one, which I rolled a 2 and a 5, so I'm okay. So I'm basically fine. But I'm still alive. I'm just kind of, I need some help to get myself back to my feet.
Yeah.
But I'm not unconscious. Maybe I'm unconscious. It's kind of narratively left up to how we want to do it. Maybe I'm quite hurt. Maybe I didn't actually, because it doesn't make sense for the blasters to like break through my spacesuit, because then I'd be spaced out and I'd be dead very quickly. Maybe I kind of like whacked myself trying to get out of the way of the blaster shots and like really hurt myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend all 3 of my stim pack doses to give myself 3 health.
Okay, yeah.
And that brings me up to from being downed to being 1, 2. So I'm on 1 harm, I think. If I was there, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
But can you use stim pack doses while in a spacesuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like a special like stim.
Yeah, probably
there's like
have,
a
like,
special
some-
stim pack like nozzle thing.
like a rack that you can put it in, and then
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, I was a Star Wars, right? It's all
Yeah, sure.
it's all bullshit.
all accounted for.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So
Oh,
I'm
you're right,
back.
Captain.
I'm back to 1 harm, and I'm back in the game. But I've got no stim pack. I've got no stim packs left. So the space
I do.
troopers are vanquished. They had a heavy they had a blaster rifle each. If I don't know if perhaps Dex wants to take a blaster rifle. It's got a +2.
Like even if I don't, that's nice.
But it's with wits, of course.
So
So you got to think about that.
Of course, yeah. I'm not good at that, but I'll take it.
It's almost as long as you, but it's like it'd be like equivalent of of Gavo or myself like grabbing a minigun, or like a heavy machine gun of some description. Like if there was gravity, you'd
so
kind of be
huge.
like, "This is heavy."
Yeah.
You're like it's as big as you.
Yeah.
You're like that. You're
If-
like, "Argh."
I probably wouldn't use it if there was gravity, but as long there isn't, I'm gonna float with it.
Yep. All right.
Do these laser guns have recoil in Star Wars? Like, can you?
Not
No,
really.
not really.
Okay, yeah.
It's laser.
Okay, yeah. That doesn't mean anything in Star Wars, but
Nope. You could definitely I could see Star Wars having recoil on laser, but they don't. No.
Yeah, true.
In that case, they
like
do
in
follow
40K,
physics.
also the laser guns has a barrel recoil.
Oh, right.
Barrel. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, in
Okay.
Star Wars, just to be geeky, it's they use Tibana gas for blasters, which is so it's actually like gas powered, whatever that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still laser, it's still like laser shots, but it's gas powered somehow. Anyway,
Everything is gas in Star Wars.
okay, so we're in the mess hall. We've just fought off these space troopers. Do we want to keep moving now? I think basically what we need to do first is it took some time. We need to move the danger. We need to check see if the danger tracker has progressed.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Yeah.
maybe
I wanted
because
to ask.
maybe the other encounters we need to roll for them as well, because be making noise. So let's do the 2 remaining encounter tables and the danger table.
Yes.
Yeah, Jakob?
Yeah. Matt, I wanted to ask, can I use a stim pack to
Yeah, for
reduce
sure.
my stress as well?
For sure.
Yeah, then I do
No,
some
stress, no.
cocaine to my-
Stress
Okay.
not. The stim packs are specifically for harm, but we can take some time. If we don't have another encounter, say for the next 2 rooms, then there's enough there's enough kind of downtime that your stress kind of clears away.
Okay.
Or we could say maybe stress clears away
I'm rolling for the danger.
1 point of stress per 2 rooms traveled without any kind of enemies. Yeah?
Okay. I rolled a success on the approaching danger, so now it's gonna be soon.
So that maybe there's there's
we-
like a slight like the ship kind of like shakes a bit. Now we're kind of in
Yeah.
0G, so it shakes around us a little
Yeah.
bit. But we can
Yeah.
kind of tell that there's like, oh shit, we're kind of like something's happening. We're getting closer to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
the orbit is
Yeah,
decaying.
we're hitting some debris, probably.
Or something like that.
And
Yeah.
have a tremor
Yeah.
going through the ship, yeah. Damn,
Okay.
Captain, are you right?
All right. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go. Let's get to the bridge. Let's get to the bridge.
Yeah. Should
Bravo,
we
lost
should
it.
we activate
Lost his
our
shit.
droid and tell him to boost the ship?
We've just made a lot of noise. I think
Yeah.
if there's anyone left on board
Yeah.
the ship, they probably know we're here by now. Let's do it.
Okay.
Exactly.
I tell Arturito to kick on the generators, to
R2D3.
power the generators. Yeah.
Okay.
Arturito.
Go ahead and make a roll for it. I think R2 is
Yep.
probably tech is probably like 4. Just roll
Okay.
like 6. Roll like 6 dice in total.
Okay, sure. Oh, now the 6s are coming. I've got 4 successes, man.
Holy
4
shit.
successes. So
Holy fuck.
this is the most competent.
Wow.
The most
I mean-
competent member of our rebels.
Maybe you should do the shooting.
Yeah, exactly. Where was R2 when we needed him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your R2 unit basically just has been waiting there. Maybe he's like plugged in with his little socket arm that goes like
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's in there waiting, and as soon as you give the command, he's just like spinning his little like arm around,
Yeah.
and all the power comes on. We all fall to the floor as
Yeah.
gravity is restored because in Star Wars gravity is magic.
I get
And
told by the rifle.
yeah, it's like you have to bench press the rifle off of you. And you feel the engine like shudder as the ship shudders as the engine kicks in. And with 4 successes, I think we can basically say we can ignore the danger table now completely.
Oh wow, that's cool.
The ship has been pushed out of orbit, so the ship is maybe it's in like a normal orbit. Maybe it's even out of orbit, slightly, but it's no longer in a decaying orbit around this planet. Because 4 successes is pretty epic.
Yeah.
Okay.
The random tool NPC just
Save the
just
day.
avoid the danger.
All right.
Yeah. That's
So
amazing.
I think we should. Carmen? Can you roll for the objective? The objective timer.
Yes. Oh, 1 success.
Okay.
Wow.
So go ahead and move that down to 3. And I think we'll put let's have you and me also roll on the encounter tables again, as we're waiting for
I don't have to
R2
roll
to.
anymore for this.
No, because you've had
session?
your encounters come to pass, right?
Okay. So I don't start at 1 all over again. But
No.
Okay.
Basically the
Nope.
S there. The S there equates to space troopers.
Okay. I see.
So the encounter was there were going to be
The
some
D is
space.
probably-
The space troopers would basically attack us when our encounter got to the end on that one.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm up to 4. Did you didn't roll any 6s on the encounter for you?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
that's good because your encounter is pretty horrible.
We can rely on Carmen rolling.
We
good.
hear we also once the engines kick in, we also hear a little trilling from R2. There's a ship approaching the frigate.
Oh,
Shit.
And he's basically plugged in to like get the reactor running, get the engines running, but because all the power is basically most of the power, maybe like 2/3 of the power, something like that, has been restored to the vessel. He's also and he's a robot, he's a droid, right? So he's like he can multitask better than any of us can.
Yeah.
He's also quickly done a quick scan and realized, oh, there's another ship approaching. It's the silhouette or the sort of like the rough size of this other vessel is similar to our own, so it's probably like a light freighter, whatever that means.
It's not it's not close enough to get any designations or something from it, right?
Nope. He's not doing any active scanning.
So-
He's
so-
basically just focusing on getting us out of the orbit.
Yeah. Okay.
And R2 is also
Okay.
probably not able to do much more scanning from where the station he's at. We need to get to the bridge to do a proper, like, now that power is restored, if we get to the bridge, we can do a proper scan.
Yeah.
And in fact, we can
Okay.
also access the turbo laser batteries from the bridge too, if we need to.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I
Oh,
thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
Let's move.
yeah, let's press for the bridge. Yeah.
Okay. Number 34 is the ready room, which basically means there's a big like conference table in here. There's a hollow projector in the center of it. So this is where if the officers need to do some strategizing about whatever, they can do that and sit around and talk bullshit. But we're basically going to be rolling our encounter rolls again because we're moving.
Mhm.
So Carmen, you're rolling your 2 dice. I'm rolling 4.
Yes.
Ah, got 6. So closing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you roll
Yeah,
anything?
same. I got 1/6.
So you're unsuspected. So
1/6.
that's nothing. But my encounter, we can ignore my encounter because the P. I won't tell you what it means, but it's basically the ship that's approaching. Okay. So we will keep it because I actually have to roll on it. We'll see what happens. But we get through the ready room and we make it into the next room. Yeah, we're kind of racing to the bridge. And the 35 is indeed the bridge. So let me just quickly add that in here. And the first thing that we notice as we enter the bridge is that there is already somebody on the bridge. It is, in fact, an Imperial officer. Who basically has lieutenants. It's one of the actors from Empire Strikes Back. But anyway, he's wearing like Imperial Navy fatigues or uniform, as opposed to like a guard uniform. So this person probably belongs to the ship, probably is involved with the ship. And they look up. He's not armed. He basically looks up at us and says, "Oh no! Who are you?"
Does the officer wear a space suit as well?
Nope.
Or was the bridge sealed with?
The bridge was sealed with. You have a feeling the bridge was probably sealed with life support.
Yeah. I say we are the cavalry, and I shoot him in the knee.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll for that.
Okay. Three stresses? No, I got my stresses away, right? Like
We said every two rooms you travel, you remove 1. So it goes down 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So instead of 9 dice,
get
you're rolling
8,
8 dice. And this guy's pretty.
That doesn't mean anything, Matt.
This guy's pretty puny. He's only got a defensive 1, so you just need a single success to hurt him.
You see how I do that.
Really?
Come on.
Yes.
All right.
A lot of 3s, a lot of 2s. I stress.
Do you want to leave
myself.
it? Do you want to leave it, or are you gonna push it?
No, I want to do something cool right now. I got 1/6. Finally.
Okay.
Yeah. I shoot this guy in the knee, at least.
Okay. You shoot him with a blaster. His knee kind of maybe explodes a bit, and he just crumples to the floor. He was standing at one of the many consoles around the bridge, but he basically he like spun around to face us as we ran into the room. You shot him in the knee, and he basically collapses, kind of like kind of screaming, holding his knee. Yeah. What do you want to do?
I would love to just go up to the console that he was facing and see if I can make any sense of that.
Yeah, you basically hurry over to his console. He was at the communications console. So think of this like Star Trek a little bit. Like this is a capital ship. There are different consoles to handle different elements of how the ship operates. So there's like a captain's console, which has, who knows, whatever the captains have control over. There's like a communications console. There's a gunnery console. There's things like that. So you're at the communications console, which is where this person was standing. Go ahead and give me a tech roll with a +1 for Ghost Operative,
Yes.
just to see how much you can make out. It'll be 4
Okay,
dice.
that's 4 dice.
You've got
yeah.
no stress. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. So
No, but I'm going to be stressed because I need to push it.
okay, go ahead.
So
We're getting close to the end, so
stressed.
you're still sitting on a point of luck as well. So if you want to spend the luck
Oh,
for
that's true.
an automatic,
Also,
but
Carmen, I think
Huh?
tech is a body thing, so you get one
oh,
harm, I
sorry,
suppose.
yeah, harm.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
it's no
Apologies.
stress.
Yep, that's correct.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe you bash your head on the console in like anger.
Yeah, I'm tiny. I kind of just I want to be quick, and then I just stumble upon his over his leg, and then slip on a bit of blood on the floor and just hit my head a little. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to push to 1 harm where I am. So that's at least 1 success.
You only needed 1. That's fine.
Okay.
You can see that this is the communications console, and the officer here had been trying to key up a new message. Probably once the power came back on, they wanted to create a new message. But you can also see, so it's like a half finished. It's like 1.5 sentences. But you can also see that the current signal that's being sent, you can actually see in BASIC, which is like the language that everyone speaks in Star Wars. You can see that the message in BASIC, and there's been an encryption put on it to mask the actual signal from anyone else receiving it. And the reason it's only been a short range transmission or signal broadcast is because the long range communications device had been like blown off the side of the ship where it was previously attached. The signal that you had received initially was saying basically something along the lines of Mayday. This is the Imperial prison frigate, whatever the name of it is, requesting immediate assistance. We've been attacked by rebels and are without power. And the second message that it started typing was, we've been boarded, unsure by who, probable, and then you stop there. That had not been sent. But you get the feeling like, okay, this is short-term, like short range. If the Imperials are going to pick up on it, it's going to take them a little while, probably. Maybe not. So yeah. That's what you see. That's what you kind of get when you're like looking on the console.
Can I stop the signals from going out?
You can switch it off. I mean, there's like a big button. They can just say like off.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll do that. I mean, if they haven't picked up, like chances are, then they won't. So
okay, and
then relate to the others. Like this is a prison frigate. What we suspected.
Okay. What's Gabo doing?
Wide. I've been holding the officer at gunpoint, and I look to you, Dex, and say, broadcast something about quarantine protocols. That we should not be boarded, and head over to a console, still looking, having my dueling pistol at the guy, and I try to look the register of the prisoners for for an inmate, also with designation of squeed, like
okay,
Karok squeed.
You're not good. You're not good with computers. You got a tech of 2.
No. Yeah.
And gunslinger doesn't really help, so you can just gonna have to roll 2 dice and hope for a 6.
Yeah. That's tech. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Uh. No. But never mind. I push myself because
Yep.
maybe
May as well.
my little brother is on board here. So 1-6. Yes.
Okay. All right. You can see that there is a complement of 9 prisoners, 9 live
Mhm.
prisoners, and
Oh wow.
4 in carbonite storage.
Okay.
Oh.
The carbonite storage ones are marked as extremely dangerous.
Okay. Okay. And do I see if the carbonite storage is still active or?
1 success, no. You just get the you can find the manifest.
Okay. And I don't get any names out of it, right? Okay.
Sure, you can get names out of it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I want to look for my brother because I forgot to tell my backstory. My smaller younger brother was um, incarcerated after a student protest against the Imperium.
Was it
And
recently?
my yeah, I don't know. I tried to free him before I joined the rebels, and I messed it completely up. And in the process of this failed
Okay.
escape attempt or
So
breaking free
what do you think
attempt,
the
I
odds are?
met the rebel crew.
Do you think the odds are like 50-50? Do you think they're like a third, 30, like 33%, something like that he might be on board?
Yeah, rather
So
33
make a
or
roll. If you roll a
20,
5,
maybe
if you roll a
30.
5 or a 6 on a d6, then
Okay.
his name is listed here.
Oh, it's a 2.
Okay, so his name's not listed on the manifest. I mean, there's lots of prison transports in the Empire. The galaxy's huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so that's like the main thing
I
you're
slam
looking
my
for.
fist on the console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I didn't
Nira,
get a
what
visual
what I'll do
direction.
is I'll run for the comms console. Well, I guess that's actually where Dex is, right?
Yes.
I'll run to the gunnery console and I'll get a bead.
Mm.
I'll like track the ship that's incoming, and I'll shout to Dex. Dex, hail them.
Mhm.
Find out who they are. Are they rebels?
Sure. Yeah, I would hail the other ship.
Yeah. What do you say?
Unknown freighter approaching this vessel. Identify yourself.
Okay. You get no answer. And
We
I
got
think
all our
1 second.
our turrets trail on you.
I'm gonna make a quick encounter roll. Oh, no 6s, so it's still staying at closing. Okay. What did you just say? We're tracking you with all of our weapons or something?
Yeah, we have all our weapons trailed on you and are ready to fire. This is your only chance.
You get a response back. Well, if you had all your weapons trained on us, you would have fired by now, surely.
Do I
I know what-
recognize that voice? Does it make any sense to me?
Could be anyone.
I look at what's her name?
Nira.
Nira. I think we should give them a warm welcome.
I know what the P stands for on your encounter table, Matt.
Hey, it's a clever code. So yeah, Nira doesn't need any encouragement. I mean, she's got the conviction all problems can be solved with violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll. So to use like gunnery at a
It's setting
console.
a fire, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tech. So that's 4 dice plus 1 for being a smuggler captain. Maybe actually 2 because she probably gets into fights with like having to use the controls on her ship to shoot at like TIE fighters and stuff. But it's 6 dice in total. So we'll see. She's going to open fire on the approaching ship. No
Come
successes?
on. Fuck.
No successes, which means I make another encounter test to see if they come any closer. If it gets to the encounter, they basically have docked their ship in the hangar bay, and we can no longer shoot at them. I got a 6, which means they are now near.
Shit. Okay.
I'm going to have one more attempt to shoot at them. I do have a luck point I could spend, but they're going to need...
Oh yeah.
With the turbo lasers, I'm going to need at least 2 successes to blow them up.
No.
So still not hitting them.
Can you
And I'm
push yourself?
Oh, I could. I'm at 1 harm. I think I will push
Taking
myself.
it.
We'll make another roll. I did have 1 6, which was not enough because I need 2. Nope. But that'll be momentum.
Shit.
So I'll count that 1 6 as momentum for my next test. And I'm rolling 6 dice now to see if I increase the encounter roll. If I get any sixes here, they've docked. Oh god, they've docked.
No.
So I've started shooting at them. It's basically like I've kind of hit them. Their shields kind of flare up, but they're so close now. It took us so long. Like the space troopers distracted us long enough that they were able to dock. And maybe we do a quick scan to discover that they are in fact pirates.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually running out of time as well. I've just seen it's 11 o'clock. There's still potentially quite a lot that could happen in this scenario. Maybe we should just leave it here because I don't think there's any way we can finish it within even an hour.
That's a cool cliffhanger though. So next episode, whenever it may be.
We can leave the...
Maybe Rasmus is back there, so...
Yeah. And like we can leave the Excalibur board exactly as it is, and we can come back to it if we want to finish it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, a slightly unusual Star Wars session. It's kind of feels a little bit more like it's a ship crawl, so it's a very specific type of thing. Yeah. But yeah, what'd you guys think of it?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought like with the ship crawl when I saw the map, and that was only one of 3 decks. That it's gonna be quite some. It's been a really tight time frame for 3 hours, but I really like it. I think the tables are interesting for encroaching danger and the encounters and the objective.
Yeah. I actually love that dynamic for dangers and objective and all that stuff. That's a really cool dynamic.
Yeah, that's stolen straight from Alien Evolved Edition solo chapter, which I did with Rasmus, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is really cool!" I really loved it, and I mean, it's so portable. It's basically just a clock, right? But like kind of cleverly how they've kind of framed it with there's going to be an encounter with a potential someone, and then you've got the dangers, and then how the dangers are also like flipping the dice pools on their head, so you're like starting with a big dice pool and then lowering it down, which increases the tension. It's very clever. It's very, very clever.
Also, like if you take account every success as one step in the encounter table, it leads to the encounters occurring at a different pace. Because right now we got 2 of 3 encounters, which is I guess pretty good.
The Alien book does say every 6 rolled. In fact, in Alien, if you roll it's 1s on the danger table, but it doesn't really matter. It's still the same odds, right? But every time you get you roll the relevant number, which if it's like a multiple dice, then you move it that many down, whether it's objective, danger, or encounter. So it does move a bit more quickly. And I did run this previously with 4 players, and we finished the entire scenario in 2.5 hours. But we were moving things a little bit more quickly, so it did feel like the encounters we weren't rolling 6s very often. other than Jakob.
Yeah.
I did too.
But we had 2 encounters on the first level, on the engineering level in the other game I played. So it was a
Yeah.
lot quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
'Cause
depends on
yeah.
how you're doing with the dice rolls, I think. Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah. I like it. Very cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And the year zero
hopefully
mini
it
thing
returns.
was very, very narrative. It's got like very easy to figure out how everything works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's really, really quick, and yeah, character creation is very, very easy and very, very
We didn't end up
I really
using
like
any
it.
of the
Kind of good to go.
convictions or the impulses really, but that's okay. That doesn't
That's
usually happen in
true.
one
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in one shots very
Yeah.
often in my experience, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense.
So yeah, we'll end it here. Thanks everyone for watching. If we do get time to run a second to like finish the scenario off, no promises because we're going to be jumping back into our household campaign in 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
But if there is a moment where we don't have the full, like maybe if Rasmus is sick or something and we can get Carmen and Jakob back, we can maybe finish the scenario off. It would definitely, I think in one more session, we'd be able to finish it for sure. But thanks for watching. If you have any comments on anything about the scenario, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Again, Year Zero Mini is a game that I've written, so this is kind of playtesting for the second edition. So if you think something, if you got any clever ideas, or you think you really liked it, or you didn't like it for whatever reason, then please let me know in the comments. That's all feedback that I quite like to read. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks' time for Household, which I'm super, super excited to get back to. And I know my players are too.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, guys. And
Okay.
yeah, catch you next time. Bye-bye.
All right.
Nighty night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.